You're listening to the Miracles in Meat podcast. I'm Shane Thibodeau, a fourth-generation butcher at one of the oldest meat markets in the world. My great-grandfather started this business by slaughtering one cow or pig at a time and selling the cuts door-to-door on horse and buggy. Today, our products are enjoyed across the globe. I will attempt to give you some insight as to how we got here and explore the challenges we've had along the way. At Bourgeois, our mission is to preserve our heritage generation after generation through legendary Cajun flavors and the development of relationships, not customers. Since 1891, Bourgeois has maintained age-old culinary traditions that fuel the South Louisiana lifestyle. Over the past 133 years, our Cajun products have gained global recognition, and for tens of thousands of folks around the world, the Bourgeois Cajun Lady logo is a symbol of home. Today, the fourth-generation butchers sit at the 9-foot maple block with loyal customers to discuss the adventures, skills, and passions that guide each of their legacies. These conversations will become priceless resources for future generations of any industry. This is our way of maintaining the spirit, purpose, and traditions of our lost arts in a world of change. 133 years, 4 generations. We're just getting started. All right, before we get into it today, I just wanted to explain something about the podcast. So this is the Miracles in Meat podcast, but I honestly don't know how often we're going to be talking about meat. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. If that's what you want to hear, drop us a message on our website. We up at the top, we have a podcast tab, and you can click on that and you can submit us a question or an audio file, and we'll read it and we'll get into it here on the podcast. But other than that, if it goes there, it goes there. What we're really focusing on in this podcast is having conversations with our customers about or around their passions. You know, there's shared passions or maybe something that's unique to them. And I think you kind of picked up on that. We've gone from teaching to being a chef, running restaurants, flying kites. We're gonna go everywhere. We did some spearfishing. It's gonna be a wide variety, I'm sure, and I don't know what the future holds because we have a lot of customers. We got a lot of loyal customers that do all sorts of crazy and amazing things, and a lot of them, even though we've known them for a long time, I don't truly know what they do or how into it they are. But I'm gonna find out because I have a long list of people that I want to get to and sit down and have these conversations with and just see what I can learn. That's what it's about. I'm just trying to learn. And I figured maybe other people want to learn too. So this episode here is Lance Crochet, Coach Lance Crochet. He has the South Louisiana Select Baseball Academy over in Houma. And what Lance is doing is special to me because it's not about baseball. I don't really care about baseball, but I do care about taking something that you're good at, you know, and using it for more than what it is. In this case, he's taking baseball and he's using baseball to take young boys and turn them into young men. And that's something that I think maybe we're lacking these days is more guys like Lance that actually have the ability to do this, that can lead a group of 14-year-olds into becoming, you know, respectful, responsible young men. And, you know, this is something that baseball is something that Lance has taken and maybe really had a huge impact on his life and how he turned out, and he wants to give back to the sport, and he's very passionate about it, and you'll hear that in his conversation. But we're going to talk about baseball, we're going to talk about youth development, we're going to talk about parenting. And if you are a parent, you want to be a parent, if you're a coach of any sport, if you want to be a coach one day, I think this is a great episode. You'll definitely pick up some tools to use. I have already, and let's get into it. This is Lance Crochet.
Went a whole lot. I was kind of waiting around all day to go to work. When it slowed down during the Christmas month and stuff like that, where it was just lessons, no team practices and development, I was I realized that after like 2 years in a row, like something's wrong. Like I shouldn't be feeling like this.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was recommended I talk to somebody. So I went to see a therapist and she told me, it's called the wintertime blues, whatever. And she explained a little bit. And I was like, all right. Then she told me about, some people just have a busy mind, and the best thing you can do is, because you always found ways to stay busy and be busy and do more, you should go do that. Feed
yeah.
it. Feed
That's
it.
about it. That's all. That's the only thing that'll ease it, right?
Yeah. So I was like, man, I'm going to do insurance.
You ever write? Type, like journal type things, or whatever. Write something that you're gonna let all your players read, or something for the coach to read.
I'll write my
Parents.
practice plans and stuff. I have like I looked kind of yesterday. It's like close to 350 different notes.
Yeah,
in my notepad in my phone.
I'm the same way. And I like to have I have categories for my notes, and then I start to get out of whack where I don't click on the right category. So then every category just has every aspect of my life and all the notes involved.
Yeah.
I'm the same exact way.
I try to headline it, title it perfectly, and organize it from jump. But like,
nah,
man, sometimes I'm like, where did that go? Why is it not coming up?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had put it in pages on my iPad, and it all intertwines. I just gotta figure it out.
Same exact.
But I don't write much, unless it's for work and whatnot. But I used to have. Man, I
when I feel like my mind's busy, writing down what's busy sometimes shows me that 5 of the things don't need to be. And I do like when that happens, when I catch something that I'm overthinking that I don't need to be thinking about.
I know what you're saying. A guy explained it to me. If there's 10 light bulbs in your head, some people function best when just 2 are bright and the other 8 are kind of dull. Some people can't dull those other 8. They have 10 lights trying to shine bright, and then they're kind of like frantic and a mess at and everything. You got to take care of the light shining the brightest and try and sort it out in your brain like that. Make sure you put that one to the forefront. That way you can handle that stuff without those other lights going completely off.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and there's some people that can handle more than that. There's some people that can have 10 lights shining bright and function.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain days where I can function with 10 lights shining bright, and there's certain days I can't. And that little thing has kind of helped me when days where I'm not able to get all those, or 10 are bright and I'm everywhere. I'm just like, man, where's the brightest ones?
Yeah,
focus on those.
I'm good at bouncing around. I'm good at something is so important and I need to do it, and I can go boom, never mind, I'm 100% on this for 3 days. And some people can't handle that. Me and Bo are complete opposite. Bo starts and finishes, and he don't start nothing else until this is finished. And I want to write down 10 things and start them all at the same time. And then whenever I get stuck on this one, I move to this one. And that doesn't work for him, but we work well together.
Yeah.
We just complement each other.
I gotta ask you this question. So what's your title at Bourgeois? Like what you and Bo do?
Manage.
Okay. So as a manager, how do you always handle being the person that has to answer the questions?
I'm not. That's my, I guess that would be my answer, is that over the years, we've gotten so good at, I guess, letting go of that idea and not needing to be, we don't need to be the one. Like I don't need to be the best butcher anymore. I don't need to be the best salesman anymore. I don't need to cook the best boudin, because we've trained guys to be better than us in all those situations. I need to be the best at seeing everything at once, intending to, certain aspects, but knowing that I'm going 10 to it, but I'm not taking over it.
Yeah.
You are the priority on that. You're the lead on it. I'll just come 10 to it. But I got good at not taking over that, and
Delegate.
That helps a lot. So yeah, just delegating and training. And, I've got counterparts upon counterparts that have gotten better at all of the things that, that they were hired to do. They're now better than me. And I trust that they can do it better, So a lot of times if the question's coming to me, I would much rather point to who's the expert on that. And you answering that question and giving him that time it takes away reps from this guy, whether it's him training or him bonding, connecting with that person. You take that away by always having every answer. So yeah, I think over the years I've gotten away from being that person that has all the answers,
I guess it's because y'all are more process established and process oriented, because y'all bring in a guy, y'all train him to be better than you, and that's your guy.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of guys like that at Select. However, they're dealing with parents asking questions about something. And of course, they always want to make sure it could be that, it could be parents asking me questions, whatever. I'm okay with answering questions. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But sometimes, man, my wife likes a question. So when I get home, I'm like, I've spent the last 2 weeks answering everybody's questions. Nobody's answered the questions I have. I had to do my research for it and get better at it.
Yeah.
Like what? For me, it's like, can I just not answer questions tonight, please?
Yeah.
Just tell me how your day was. Tell me, something.
Yeah.
That made you smile today.
That's important. And me and my wife do the same thing. In fact, like 2 days ago is probably where I hit a limit and was just like, cancel everything we're doing right now. Stop talking. We have to just stop. We need we need a 30-minute of nothing, right? Like first, before we go anything further, let's just have nothing for 30 minutes. I definitely get like that. And she does too. And she understands it, as long as we say it in time, everything works.
Yeah. I can't lie. When I asked you that question, I was praying that you would give me a 1-800 number to call a guy that has all the answers. I'm just kidding. No, but like with baseball, when I first started Select, trying to knowing I wanted to do it a certain way, development first, not week tournament over here. Let's go play there and win that tournament. Let's develop men, do it the right way that can carry on, not just on the baseball field, because sports ends for everybody, but throughout life. I didn't have nobody for a couple of years to call to get those questions answered, because I was doing it different.
Yeah.
Man, they just got to know baseball. They just got to know. Man, see, it's pretty easy to know baseball. It's hard to play baseball if you don't have the tools. It's much easier to play baseball when you develop the tools to play it fast, to play it at a high level, even if you don't know the game.
Yeah, 100%.
You still got the tools to play it. It makes it much easier. So it slows down how you respond in time, where you're not frantic. If I teach a guy everything about baseball and he knows it in and out, he can coach the team, but he's still weak to throw he has to field every ball perfect because his arm's too weak, where if he bobbles one, that guy's safe all the time. That's no good.
Mm-hmm. All right, before we go any further, let's do this, Lance. This is kind of what we do on every podcast, and it's something I want to continue to do no matter who it is and no matter what we're talking about. I want to ask you about your earliest memories of the meat market.
Us getting, making your mama mad because you and Benson got muddy walking across. I remember going to your grandpa's house, and we'd go get some sugar cane and he would cut it for us.
Dang.
And at that time I was just a goofy little kid. We were just trying to play soccer and and stuff. So the meat market, I didn't even realize that, like, your grandfather was bourgeois. He had established that place. He lived across the street from it, which is, by the way, world renowned for the best beef jerky ever.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we got some ribeyes from y'all a while back. That was pretty damn good. But my earliest memories of those riding the go-kart over there, and me, you, and Benson beating the crap out of each other all night on your bed. I think y'all were at an apartment at the time.
Yeah.
And upstairs. Dude, I don't know how.
We popped the brand new sock and boppers on each other's faces.
How did we not fall through the floor that night?
Couple pairs. And Benson got a heavy hands too.
I remember being on a roll to Friday night. I remember the first time, this is about to mean market, but the first time I've ever seen or had someone flick a booger at me was Benson. Yeah. I remember I did good in sock and bockers that night. Benson flicking boogers, us going at it again the next morning, and I couldn't even get up on the bed. Yeah, y'all were working me over.
That's going to be my new question for everyone. Who's the first person to flick a booger at you? That's important news.
What's Benson's last name?
LaBeouf.
Benson LaBeouf. Shout out Benson LaBeouf.
So Benson actually moved to Arkansas. We lost him. He lives in Benton, Arkansas now.
I wonder if he's still flicking boogers. We have to give him a shot.
So, man, sugarcane. Me and Brody were talking about that earlier this morning. You think kids still eat sugarcane?
Not like we did.
We ate it about every day.
Dude,
I got sick on sugarcane.
I remember how I still...
Shout out to all the farmers out there.
Can remember the taste of it. And at my house, my grandpa had a garden, and he had like 4 stalks. And it was the same way your grandpa cut it for us. My grandpa did the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. So look, I know Miss Anita got mad at us when y'all got money, but it was worth the walk.
Cane field, man.
How far was it to that muddy?
It wasn't. So when we were young, it was about 12 miles, but now it's probably 300 yards, if I had to guess.
Why did we not take the road?
Could have. We had no positive influences.
That was a 12-year. That was an adolescent 12-year-old.
That was boys being boys, man.
That was don't get dirty. We got to go somewhere. Okay, Ma. All right, Miss Anita. 1 for 3.
Right through the mud. All right. So obviously the beef jerky is your favorite product. That's why I bought you some.
I appreciate that.
And all right. What about any cooking styles? You have anything you like to do at home, cooking wise? Does the wife cook?
Yeah, the wife cooks. What I've tried to do is set aside at least one day for me to, because I do baseball at night, work during the day, is to go home and do supper and make it like a nice supper.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the weekends when I'm home, I do a big, usually cook a big pork butt, briskets, stuff whenever we have LSU parties and whatnot. We built our house to host people because our family lives all around us. So we're kind of like the center and focal point for hosting. So we always have people over, but, man, steaks, shoot, the other night, man, look, I did something new. I tried something new, and I wind up on the pit. I use Wagyu tallow and Mediterranean seasoning to do like a
wild,
like a veggie melt type thing, and I cook pork sirloin steaks on the pit next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of eating the pork sirloin steak by itself, I wind up cutting them up and putting it in that. Bruh.
Come on, man.
I've been known to try. I've been known to get enough to cook where I can do 2 pans. And experiment with one.
Yeah.
Make sure the other one is like definitely to my wife's.
I like that idea.
Just because like,
a little test batch on the side that no one has to know about.
Yeah, and AD Uncle Pete come over a lot, and they're moving. They bought a house about 1.5 years ago and haven't fully moved into it yet. But they're coming and live by us.
Where are they?
So
they're gonna go to the Zalmans.
They are. Man, remember AD used to do all them coupon shop and stuff. So she had that house full of Windex and toothpaste and stuff. I think she's AD. You single-handedly put Eckerd's and K&B out of business. And from that point on, she went to Del Champs with the triple coupon shop and put them out. But anyways, they come over, and Aunt D is a leftover fiend, and she'll eat anything I cook. Sometimes I think she really enjoys what I cook, and sometimes when I experiment, I think she just tells me that she likes it.
Yeah.
Then makes Uncle Pete eat it. No, but man,
who taught you how to cook?
Man,
did that come later?
Yeah, it really didn't. You know, when I was in college, I had a George Foreman grilled chicken breast with a piece of cheese on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say, to give credit to, I'd have to give credit to YouTube.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what it's for.
Mad Scientist Barbecue had some good stuff with the briskets and the pork butts.
Okay.
I like that. Now I always take what I see and then go my way with it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
You know, I've gotten pretty good at a lot of the meats for the most part.
You got a smoker at home? Getting into
I
smoking?
got a Rec Tech.
That's what you got to do with these days.
I got a cold smoker in that, on that thing. It's awesome. It's a pellet grill. I want to get a new one, but the Rec Tech's been so great to me. But it's huge, man. It's a big like commercial. But my dad had got me, my real dad got me that. And then from that point, I was kind of like, man, I just was like, I got a good ass tool and I'm a terrible, or I don't know how to cook well. I'm gonna learn how to cook well. And then I just basically, first of all, learning the meats is the easiest part.
Yeah.
The latest thing I've learned that I've gotten really good at is cooking down like a pork roast on the stove, bro, black iron. Now that you can pressure cook it. My wife tried to get me to pressure cook it for a taco soup the other day. I said no. I came home early to cook. I'm going the long route, so keep adding the water, cook it down. But yeah,
something about it.
Yeah, I tell you what, I did learn how to cook chicken pretty good too, bro. Garlic jalapeno rub. You get the chicken breast, you cut it in half, then you cut the big part of the chicken breast in half so they all around the same size. Heath Rouse makes a garlic jalapeno rub. All right, so I'll do that the night before. I'll soak it in dill pickle juice overnight.
Okay.
It's a Chick-fil-A method. Might as well. I try not to let it be in there for more than 12 hours though, because it'll taste like a chicken pickle. And I don't want that. I just want that little juice. So if you cook it, if your pellet grills holds temperature at 300 consistent, don't cook it at 325 or 350 like most people say. Cook that chicken breast once you cut it like that at 300, 10 minutes on each side, flip at the 10-minute mark, 10 minutes on the other side, take it off and trust it.
Just trust it.
Dude, it is. You can put it in the refrigerator and you pull it out 3 days later and it's juicy.
I love chicken. It's something I don't ever cook because we don't carry it. But when I go places, like if I go to Big Mike's, I usually get the smoked chicken. I got enough beef and pork around me, So some place that's got a good juicy chicken, I want it.
You cook much and use barbecue sauce?
The only thing I use barbecue sauce on is we have a ritual. We hunt at my Uncle Donald's camp in Liberty, Mississippi. And one of our camp rituals is pork steaks on the fire. So the pork steak, we do a Boston butt. We do like a 3/4 inch cut on the bone in, basically a 7 steak on the butt. And we season it the same way every time, and which includes our jerky seasoning. But anyway, we season it beforehand. It's like the only thing that I marinate as well. I just realized that I don't marinate steaks or anything, but we marinate it. We'll wrap them up at the market, hit the camp, and then we wait till it's like 1 a.m. and the fire's been blazing all day, and you got a huge pile of embers, and we have like a little swing grill that goes over, and we won't put them on unless it's just blazing lava hot and the flames coming like 2 to 3 inches through the grill. But we'll throw them on there, and then toward the end we'll do a Sweet Baby Ray original and give it a couple flips and kind of let that char on it. And it's a no fork or knife meal required. You just get your plate with your steak on it, or you just get handed your steak and you stand around the fire and you eat your steak, and that's what we have for dinner. That's like a long time ritual of ours, and we'll never stop. But that's about the only time I use a barbecue.
How you like cooking over that with that little swing grill?
Love it. You got to. Everyone has to experience that. And some never do. Some never cook on open fire.
Yeah, I used to get the YouTube videos of the guys in the mountains that are like, I guess I don't know if it's called ASMR or not, but like they don't talk at all. But they're like a Viking. They're just chopping stuff up, and
they always got knives that are way too big.
You get them chopping it up, then they throwing it in the pan, and they chopping it up, and then it ends with them taking a bite out of it. And I hadn't seen anybody mess it up. Now, of course, it's a video, and you can
right.
But my wife, I promised her a pool years ago, and I didn't want to wait to sign a contract and wait 2 years to get it. So I kind of put it off, and I fell behind because that light bulb was very, very dull in my head. But behind it, we had agreed that we were going to put a brick fireplace on the backside of it, and then like a stove thing on top. Okay. I guess I don't know if you call it a pizza stove.
Yeah, like a little stone stove.
Right. I got excited about cooking on that, and then the light bulb went dull for a little bit. But it's coming back on.
Yeah, you just need those little kicks every now and then. Yeah. Man, but there's something about sitting by the fire for the 3 hours beforehand and building the anticipation. You don't just get to walk in, turn your stove on, and start cooking. You sit there, you watch the fire, you get it just right, and all of that adds,
My dad's a fan of cooking on a wood burning pit. I like the pellet just because I can get on the app on my phone, turn it on, get it to temp. And I'm not good with the fire stuff yet, but I watch the Outdoor Boys on YouTube.
We do as well.
And I want to prep meals like if we go camping. We go camping normally once a year, but we stay in like a cabin because I can't stand RVs. For Halloween, they always got places to make little fires. I want to start cooking where you wrap it in aluminum foil, bury it in ashes, and come back in 2 hours and it's done.
Yeah.
We got 30 people there, and I'm like, these people could be counting on me.
Right. Yeah. It's not something you do.
Yeah. But I think it'd be cool. Well, I guess next year when my youngest is a little older, because she likes to help me cook. My wife videoed me and her cooking one day, put her phone down, told her to make a video, like a YouTube video, because she watches YouTube Kids. I'm next to her in the video, and she's talking, whatever, and I stirred a pot, and I leaned over to look in it, and she cracked me right in the jaw with a straight right. Dude, I looked at her and looked straight. And we stopped. I said, Lacey, watch this video. And I have a video of her cracking me in the jaw.
Just for no reason.
Just me like looking over the pot. I'm stirring it, looking over the pot. Bruh.
Must be a TikTok trend or something.
Hey, she got me good. She was 3 at the time.
Gotta be careful. Well, all right, let's get into so I guess what I'm interested in more than talking to people about the meat market and talking about cooking and briskets and stuff like that. I love all that stuff. But my bigger interest is in passions, like people's passions and why they're doing what they're doing and learning how they're doing it. At least the people I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is, but like we're talking about the light bulbs, that is a light bulb for me. It's a curiosity. It's just as good. In other words, if I wasn't doing it, I'd be doing it, but in a different way. I might be researching or whatever, but it's a curiosity. And now that curiosity has become a passion for me. And it's been fun and it's been really cool to learn. And it's helped me with my other passions or endeavors, just digging into other people's, their whys and their motivations and stuff. And sometimes when you hear something unrelated and you start to make those connections, it shows you how similar maybe this other guy is to you, and how you can kind of use their successes and failures to kind of propel you, before you go through those yourself. So in terms of, let's call baseball, we're going to get further into this because I know it's complicated, because I see it as, I'm not talking to you necessarily about your passion for baseball as a sport.
Well, and I'll be honest, I don't know how passionate I am about baseball, besides for what it teaches in the level, because I don't really enjoy watching Major League Baseball, or when the first time I went to the Hall of Fame, I didn't enjoy it. It felt like it was kind of creepy until I got to the bottom floor where they had all the gold plaques. That was cool. I don't know, and look, from me being playing the sports when I was, of course, rec for the most part, and then high school baseball. I like basketball more. I just sucked at it.
That's honest, but it's so cool and so interesting because I didn't guess that. When I see you share things and I see you talking about things, I don't guess that you're not passionate about baseball. I assume that that's what feeds the fire, but what I'm finding more and more that's not always the case. Not always what you see people doing is not necessarily what they might be passionate about. And I guess more importantly, it might not be the most important thing that they're doing. What you see them doing might not be the most important thing that they're doing. And I love that idea.
I'd say that for me, development is my passion. And that passion started burning because I had something inside of me that felt like I needed to repay my debt to the youth in our area. Not specifically just Terrebonne, but whatever. But like I grew up in Terrebonne Parish. It'd be Terrebonne, Lafourche, the tri-parish, within driving distance for an hour, whatever. I felt a dire need to repay my debt to the game of baseball for what it did for me, and I knew I could do that. And then that evolved into being super passionate about development because, like I said earlier, when I first started out, I was a different coach. I got better. I get better every day. I try to get better every day. I try to learn something. I want to be the best I can be because these young guys are trusting me. They're trusting me to do the best I can to give them the tools to reach their full potential. Potential's a weird, it's kind of like, who knows what the full potential is, right? But I know this. It's easy to live with working your tail off. And at the end of the day, doing everything you can with what you're involved in, no matter if you're involved in 10 things, all right, when you're present in that moment of one of those 10 things, that 100% effort, 100% focus, and control on your response has to kick in. That passion for development doesn't just stick with baseball now either. I want those guys to develop in the classroom as young men, in their other sports. The work ethic, all things they learn here and the stuff we trying to mold into them and sometimes maybe call it rewiring how they process things. We want that to stick with them as a life tool and something that they can take if they walk through a door and have to play a dodgeball game. All right. We want that for them. We want that for them when they walk into the weight room. And we want them to understand how important it is to always seek development and be in that moment. Because look, in the classroom, I was in the classroom, but I wasn't there. My last 3 or 4 semesters in college, I had a 4.0. How the hell I could do it then, but I couldn't do it. I didn't have this whole mental process down packed and whatnot. I was just going to school and telling a joke and getting fussed, but not getting in too much trouble because I've never been suspended or anything. But I don't know if I can't say that besides me having to repay my debt or a feeling inside me to repay my debt to baseball and do it the best that I could ever and be the best at it for those young guys that are going to count on me. Because I was a guy that counted on coaches before. Coach Joe was a huge influence on me on that. All right.
Two-tone?
Yeah, little Joe. Because he also took me in when I was in high school too, whenever I was going through some rough times. My grandpa is my hero, but little Joe is probably my biggest influencer. And through baseball, he did that for me. And then what baseball did for me itself with college and stuff. I just felt like, man, I wanted to give this area an avenue and repay my debt by helping others. And when I first started out, it was more about just getting good at baseball. And I didn't have the full development stuff figured out yet. that grew over the that grew really fast, actually, because the course of like 2 years, within 2 years. And then it just took off. It is all about development, because my daughter does dance. All right. And you know what kind of thing? I give her gifts. Christmas comes around, Santa Claus passes for her. She's getting like stretching machines, things like that. I'll leave it up to Santa Claus's cousin to get her the other stuff. But like, because it's development. Now, also with my kids at the house, my daughter she's 12 now. She's never been punished. I've always believed that you can learn from your mistakes and get better from them while paying the consequence or repaying your debt for that mistake through a personal development. My deal is push-ups, sit-ups, or squat jumps. So yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. When Aubrey was young, we started with the push-ups. You started on her knees doing the push. You got it right. I do that at Select. We try to enforce that at Select. You could be at the concession stand if your mama says, hey, you want a Powerade? Yeah. That's X amount of push-ups. Now they're 9, they're learning how to do push-ups. Mm-hmm. They may be 5, they may be 10. My 13's at 25. Always been at 25 since she was 6 or 7. And look, I'll purposely continue on a conversation and just like quick questions.
Trip up.
You know when I get her the most? I get her the most whenever I throw in a little joke in there. And I'm like,
she lets her guard down.
Yeah. Where's my 25 at? But look, like it's pretty cool when your daughter comes home and lets you know that she, in PE, at the whole school, she did the most push-ups out of boys and girls. She did the most pull-ups out of the girls. She did the most sit-ups you could do in a minute. Mm-hmm. And she's not a big one, but physical strength helps in everyday life too.
Right.
I don't think punishing a kid and putting them in their, this is just my personal opinion, how I raise my kids, putting them in a room to think about it does anything for them mentally or physically. When kids screw up, it's pretty simple screw ups. They pretty much, they don't have to figure out why they screwed up. They know that, like, I screwed up. But would they admit it? Sometimes no. But like, you, as a parent, you let them know you screwed up, whatever. The consequences of, if it's development based, you get that in, you're getting stronger as well. Now we do have a funny little saying for our baseball players, bro. If you want to be stupid, you're going to be strong. All right. Yeah. Because look, we build men, but for my daughter, that's helped her with being even better at the dancing side of things, just having that strength. So passion, definitely development. Maybe it was baseball at first, more so me wanting to repay my debt and pass along what baseball did for me through others and do it at the highest level that I could provide. And when I got to that point a couple years ago, I did something different for a little while, or on a different level. And now I'm back full time, as motivated as ever personally to expand into other sides of development for our guys and provide that, which is the home field advantage stuff with Coach Brocklander, our boy baby. And then eventually into the recovery side, and I think we'll cover all 3 phases. And I think we're working to get there pretty darn fast. And I think it's pretty cool because no questions asked. If a guy makes it or doesn't make it, he'll know, like, he'll have done everything he could too. Maybe it just wasn't in his cards, but he can take that onto the next stage in his life where the development isn't just becoming the best at work or the best supervisor. It's seeing that there's different phases, kind of like a piano helps people with math.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to play piano, but I do know that piano helps with math because it's 3-dimensional or whatever. You got the foot pedal, you got the white keys, you got the black keys. It helps young kids with math. If we're focusing on development in different areas and then intertwining everything you do and making it that, like, the mindset, that can help you evolve and be all around, I feel.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, everybody's loved it so far.
It's funny because when you think about baseball and you think about a place that trains, youth athletes at the highest level, you think about the swing and the pitch and the curveball and how to glove a ball, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So like we're really what's important, and I think more, as time goes on, I'm proving more and more that almost anything you pick, whatever the thing is, these kids pick baseball, some kids pick martial arts, dancing, swimming, but if who's teaching them how to do that isn't focusing on using the thing as a way to teach this person how to learn, then I think they're missing out.
100%.
Right.
Think about it. Your grandpa, my grandpa, it wasn't sports that did it for my grandpa. Maybe it was for your, but it was them getting up in the morning before school to work in the fields, running back to the front to catch the bus to go to school, getting off the bus, running to the fields to go back to work. That work taught them that work ethic and that strong-mindedness. Mm-hmm. You can do that with sports in this day and age because we're a much more advanced civilization and society nowadays, and they have child labor laws too. But think about it. We have guys that they want more. They're going to do everything they can to be the best they can be at whatever they're doing. We got guys now that'll get up at 4 a.m. and work out before school. Mm-hmm. We got guys that'll work out at school and do workouts after. They'll do training on their own, then lessons. Like, I don't care what you do or how much different things you do. When you're doing it, it's 100%. And when you're doing it the right way. When you're training for it, it's the right way. And you cannot be involved, rule them out. You cannot be involved in something and not do extra. Mm-hmm. My daughter went all in on dance. She got away from soccer a little bit and went all in on dance. I'm fine with it. Most days of the week she dances 6 days a week. A good percentage of them she dances 7. We do the extra the gymnastics or whatever lesson. We do extra training. She does extra stretching at home. We get her the equipment as part of like gifts, mm-hmm. Or tools for development to try and make, like when she gets older and she wants to be a doctor and a tiger girl. When she gets older and she goes to be a doctor, I want her to be comfortable going out and getting tools to help her development. Mm-hmm. Whether it's career, personal, lifestyle, whatever. Things that'll stick, man. I love to spoil my kids too, but I would never buy my kid a brand new bat. Mm-hmm. In fact, I say I would never. Let me not misquote myself. My kid would have to earn that. Mm-hmm. All right. I'd have to call Santa Claus and say, Santa, you're not bringing a brand new $450 bat. Mm-hmm. My boy don't work enough with the bat he got. But I'd also have instilled that in him. I have had parents, the last 3 parents that have asked me what kind of bat should they get their son for this year. I've told them the same thing. The Pro Velocity bat. Because the Pro Velocity bat's a bat speed training tool. It's a developmental bat. I say, you get them that. Don't worry about the other bat.
They use whatever bat they want.
You can use one in a dugout.
Right.
And what that does, it increases the bat speed. And promise them, if you get them that, I'll send you the program for him to do. Mm-hmm. And it'll put him on another level with his bat speed. Now, we're incorporating that program in our stuff as well. But if you have, but bat your kid has at that age, of course, if you can spawn they earn it, whatever, I get it, make it 8, I don't know. Whatever other people do. That's all fine and dandy. But if there's a chance for me to get Aubrey a tool for her to use in-game that may be the best bat or the coolest bat at the time versus a tool that can help her develop on her own with her team during I want that tool. Mm-hmm. That's first. Once you get that developmental tool, because look, bats are expensive. Bats are $400 to $500. That training bat is $450 to $550. Older guys is $550. That bat will be used way more than what a game bat will be used. Mm-hmm. That's an investment.
Yeah.
Now, you set it all works towards that. Whatever you're gonna do, Do it the best you can. We're always going to do more at it. That's our responsibility to the team.
Mm-hmm.
But with kids, if it's not development first and working hard and doing things like that, it's just, here's a good game bat. Like,
Right.
how's that teaching the same work ethic or morals that our grandparents had that helped them become who they were,
Mm-hmm.
the hardworking people that they were?
Because you have to, I mean, you have to educate the kids as you go on and explain to them that, they need to hear that. They need to hear the reason behind the development bat versus the shiny new bat. But you also have to do the same thing with the parents, because maybe they don't see it like that. They never heard it like that.
Well, and what's cool is like when the parents ask me, I'm glad you're seeking out this advice, because now I have an opportunity to tell you to get them the developmental bat and not just go get them a $450 bat. Nothing against you getting your kid a $450 bat. Let me just say that. But if he has a $450 bat and he doesn't have the $450 training bat that can help with his bat speed and bat path and all the stuff that can help him
Mm-hmm.
be better and develop, then there's a missing link there, because you can explain kids the development and you're going to do it. And they don't understand that because they can't really see what's in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like they process things different. Whereas, we can set more long-term goals. We can kind of see the future, even though like right now I see the future on what we're doing here and with the chemical company with Express Chem, even though I'm hurrying up the weight a lot. I could see that whenever we first started it. I see it even more now because I'm in the mix of it. But if you just explain that to a kid without putting them in a situation where they feel it and like they realize it, it don't work.
Mm-hmm.
It don't work because they don't you do that. You got to show them. You got to show them and put them in situations that promote those things. And then I don't know how to explain it the best way, but it's kind of like you're getting what you want out of it without having to preach it through them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll just dabble on the topic and get some pinpoints out there, but it starts clicking when they've been in that situation. That kind of style's been successful. I know I'm ranting about it, but I'm really am passionate about the development stuff. I don't care what it is and what you're doing. Everybody's like, well, your daughter don't play softball? I'm like, no, we played soccer because I knew soccer is the best youth sport out there, just because it gets your feet underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty damn fun whenever they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because they don't have a goalie.
Yeah, that's what we're in right now. No goalie.
No goalie?
Nope.
Oh, dude, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's cool. So I said this last game. So we have Austin is on, I guess, 8U team. Then Aubrey's on a 10U team. Aubrey's the first year with the goalies. Austin has no goalie, but just the difference in that age gap right there. Really, the average age gap I'd say would be 1 year, and the difference between their field play. Austin still they're all within arm's reach, and just 1 year later they start to understand like the field's kind of covered. And it's a little harder to get the ball, 10 yards. It's just so cool to see that.
When Aubrey played for the St. Charles Parish Rec Soccer League, or whatever, we were living in a trailer at the time. We were renting the land that we were living on, but we owned the trailer, and that had a little piece of property next to us that the guy owned. It's basically a full house, but I put a trailer there, so we had a lot of land, or a decent amount, whatever, a third of an acre. I built a miniature, the soccer field that was the size of their soccer field.
Mm-hmm.
I bought soccer nets. I bought soccer balls. I bought training stuff. When our friends would come over, I'd entice them to 1v1ing. Me and Aubrey would go to I'd bring it to the park, and we'd enter the park on the opposite side of where the playground is, where we could see the playground over there. But we're going to work at soccer. We're going to get better at what we're involved in right now for an hour, and then you go, hey, you about to tear that playground up after this. And I would do what the soccer coach drills were, whatever he was introducing.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Coach Brad Landesh. I would go do with her as much as I could. And that taught her to do more. A lot of people, when I tell them, how much do you work with your kid? I'm not going to work with them if I got to drag them out there and make them do it. I get that. I respect that too. But there's a requirement in my household where if you're going to do something, you got to do more because you owe it to the team. And and if it's an individual sport, if it was tennis, you owe it to the team is your family and your last name. You owe it to them. They're going to sacrifice time, money, and effort. Like you have to do more. Well, I used to get her out there and we used to do that stuff, but I learned they asked me to help with the soccer coaching. So I helped, I know now that I developed all the training and drill work we were doing was all great. And that was towards the development and but I taught her how to play soccer to have success on the field versus the development for the long run. At a certain point, I got to that because she could toe poke it further than he could ever. I'm trying to piece this together to where everybody understands it. Basically, what I did is I taught her with our little soccer field at the house, whenever we would play in the backyard and whatnot, that she needed to how to steal the ball, how to set it out front, and the next kick it needed to go in the goal. So she could score from midfield. But she could only kick it that far if she toe poked it.
Right.
Well, that took her away from actually whatever age group it was, the 3 years she played. It took away the actual how you're supposed to use your feet in soccer.
Right.
Which I know now. I didn't know then. And we could have changed it and got better at whatever, but I evaluated myself on that. Okay, I see where me wanting her to learn how to steal the ball, which is good, to set it out front. That's not how real soccer's played. I didn't set her up to play soccer, but I didn't know shit about soccer either, Shane.
Yeah.
Until I got to Central Lafourche, my good buddies were the soccer coaches, girls and boys. The process that goes through my mind is I'm going to remember what I did and how I did it. And if it worked, what type of person it worked with. If it didn't work, maybe if I'd have done it this way, it could have worked for whatever reason. Because it's all development, whether it's soccer or whatever. And I did what I thought was right at that time. But I realized now, when she got good at doing it that way, I also took away from her actually having the right foot skills.
True fundamentals.
Yeah, so if she would have continued with soccer and not went to dance and done that 8 days a week, I would have had to retrain those things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of wasting time because I learned doing punish work in 6th grade from Miss Luke that time lost cannot be regained. And I had to write that essay, that paragraph or whatever 100 times. But as far as the pattern, it doesn't stop just with baseball or start just with baseball for me. I don't know if it's like that with you and everything, but through my kids with allowing them to play whatever you want to do or this and that, it's always going to be a requirement that you have to do more. Because look, whenever you get out of college or whenever you get out of high school and you go into the workforce, you don't know what you can be. You may have a specific thing you're going to school for, right? Like you're going to school to be in business or be an accountant, whatever. Okay, so you can be the bottom of the barrel accountant, you can be the top of the barrel and want to be a CPA, yada, yada. Why not, while they're young and energetic and my grandpa used to say full of piss and vinegar, have those guys that are coming through our program and of course my kids because they're mine, on that mission doing extra before life gets busy like it is whenever you have kids. Because if they can set themselves up, they come out of college or come out of high school full of piss and vinegar. I don't care if you go to the machine shop and you start out as a helper out of high school. I don't care if you get a trade. I don't care if you get a degree. I don't care if you get 2 degrees or a master's. If they can come out firing and everything you do, we're going to do extra, then that allows them, it opens doors for them and allows them to be on track to get to the top of the food chain, whatever that is. Am I making sense on that?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want I refuse to hold a child back from being the best that he can be at whatever he's going to be in. Or my kids. We've had some of the hardest workers come out of high school and they want to trade and they want to be the best at that trade. Military, be the best at it. Whatever it is. as long as it's productive. It'll be the best at if being bad or stuff like that. No, but I just think that young boys, young men that are in our program, that's part of the development thing, because that carries over into everything, and you're not shutting doors on yourself by coming out of college and being a guy that's I'm not working on the weekends. I got a college degree. I'm not.
Sure.
Oh, hey, boss man. When I finished baseball, when I went to Arkansas that 1 year, I hurt my shoulder. I had to have surgery. I didn't want to go have surgery and wait a year and then play another year. I'd been my 6th year in college. So I didn't get a degree. I didn't have my degree at the time. I still didn't finish my 4-year degree, by the way, to make that known. I came home and I went work at the machine shop. I was a helper for 3 weeks. Then I was put on a CNC lathe. And the next week I was on nights because there was a $3 shift premium. And I was like, hey, that's me. I got this. Look, I got this. I just learned it as fast as I could, worked as hard as I could. There was no such thing as like, this job is a 12-hour shift job for me. When I was a helper and they had parts, before I left, I had to get those parts off the table. Mm-hmm. I had to get it done. Extra weekends, whatever. Hey, look, boom, I'm here. It normally don't happen that fast, and every situation is different, but I didn't really have no connections. Actually, Lil Joe called Brock Abear's dad. Shout out to Brock Abear at the farm. Sluggo was the controller over there at the time, and he got me an interview to be a helper. Did that. I was a machinist for like that fall. I was like, man, I was miserable outside of work. Mm-hmm. So I said the work-life balance thing. I was miserable outside of work because I was just obsessed with work. Like, I wasn't obsessed with being a helper. Mm-hmm. I was just obsessed with like working my way up. Yeah. Because I knew top dollar as a machinist was like $38 or $40 an hour at the time. So I thought like, that's what I'm going to go do. You know, I just made solid grades to pass in college up to that point. Mm-hmm. But then I got a taste of that, and I realized like that wouldn't lead me to a happy life, because I couldn't balance it. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm. How old were you?
Man, I was. Remember, I graduated young, so I was 4 years. I was 22, 18, 21, 22, 23. Mm-hmm. That fall I did that. I enrolled at Nichols. I got in the petroleum program at Nichols that spring. I passed intercession math class. Actually, I took the intercession math class right after that Christmas or during that Christmas break, which is 13 and a half weeks crammed into 9 days. Bro, and I wasn't good in math at the time. I had to pass that. Look, I had a friend of mine that tutored me and helped me a ton. I owe it to her. But I passed that, and then from that point on, like, I made like straight A's in college. But like, I wish I had this development mindset.
So what was it? What got it? Who gave it to you? Or what clicked? It must have clicked at Delgado.
Okay. I always had the ability to work hard. And I was always really competitive. I can be motivated. I never needed anything to motivate me, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. I just stayed like, go. For whatever reason. Whether that was a deficiency or a positive, I'm cool with it. Ashton Kutcher said when he got an award, it's on Nickelodeon or something. I watched it when I've seen a video of Ashton Kutcher. Remember him? Mm-hmm. What he used to do, Punk'd, huh? Mm-hmm. Ashton Kutcher said, I want all of you. He pointed to all and did like that. No, it's a Nickelodeon award, so they got kids in this. To look around you, and when y'all leave here, look around you, and everything around you that was built or established or is getting established was built by people who are no smarter than you. Mm-hmm. So don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself by your own accord or something like that. Basically, like, don't set your own limitations. So from that point on, I was like, man, I can do this. It's just, look, I just knew to work. I didn't know what to work at. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if oil field industry. Come on, I don't have my degree. I'm just going to work. I'm going to get to the top. I'm going to work to the top some way, sooner or later. But that kind of made me realize like I could do more and be more. And I guess the experience at the machine shop and how the outside of that was kind of miserable. I wouldn't have had no life. I wouldn't allow myself to have a life outside of work because I always would have took the work.
You would have chased. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have never been able to be a father to a kid because I would have just been miserable by myself. But I would have gotten to be a top paid machinist. But that was like I don't know, bro. It's like I was like encapsulated in just work. So my mind had went to, I'm not having surgery, surgery and rehab for a year in Arkansas. Then my 6th year in college, then I'll play that year. Then I'll be done with baseball. I was like, I'm going home and go to work. And then getting that experience and realizing like there is no life outside of this for years to get to top pay. Cause I'm going to work relentlessly.
Yeah.
All the extra, whatever. Working nights after my 1 week on the machine or whatever, in a day or some change. After working nights for the $3 shift premium, everybody else is awake during the day. You're sleeping. You can't even be in a household because no matter how soundproof your house is, when people are awake and moving around you, like something they do is gonna wake you up. And man, it's just like all that stuff, that experience combined. And then I heard him say that, and I was like, the guy from Punk just said that. Like, that's Ashton Kutcher. Like,
yeah. No, I mean,
and I guess it resonated because look, the Punk show, he was a clown, whatever. I used to like the clown. A guy like him saying that and like being like true to his core, like as honest and as helpful as he can get, it hit home. And I kept that same thing even now. Whenever I sat down with my buddy to start with the chemical with Express Chem, like that same thing went through my mind, like,
because you don't know what you're doing with chemicals.
I'm not a chemist. Right? No, I'm not a chemist. I'm not a chemist, but I tell you what, I've learned a bunch. Oh, and look, let me explain about, like, I don't have to be a chemist to do what I'm doing. I have to know about the chemicals and the applications and this and that. But I've learned so much in let's say, I'll get pieces of information and turn that into more, and then I get some more pieces, because like we're still piecing it together. Like, I got a list of let's just say it like this. I got a list of from one of the top guys. I got a list of the chemicals that we have, because we got like a Blue Ice is a soap, chemical grade soap that or rig wash. We got a Clean A, which is a heavy duty degreaser. We got another product. I'll wait to say its name later, but it's like a home run, bro. We'll be the only ones from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama that'll have it, and it's a game changer for oil field industry and for turnaround time whenever you got to clean things out on these boats. So that's a huge one, and we'll be the only ones to have that. But I know the names of those three, but I got a list of what all we have the rights to. All right. The best analogy I can provide is I got a list that, let's say it says window cleaner. Well, that's not a chemical name. So if I need a window cleaner, they're like Windex, there's the Rain-X version of window. There's multiple different, right? Mm-hmm. So I got that list, dissected what each of those things were like. There were some words that I hadn't heard before. Paraffin control. I hadn't heard of it. Now I know everything that paraffin control does. Mm-hmm. And the chemical names will be our chemical names will be coming across my desk soon. But I didn't just sit back and wait for those names. I went and look at what the piece of information that I got.
Mm-hmm.
And now it doesn't matter if it's named Pluto's ear cleaner
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. I know exactly what it's supposed to do. Now it's up to the me mixing the raw material and stuff. I got that on lock. We'll be rolling with that soon here. But I also know that I have limitations. So I'm not a chemist. But when I need a chemist, I can find one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I would have been not about the work ethic, because it wasn't the smarts that got me. Or if I wouldn't have been like a fearless, just work hard, like I'm going to get to the top, and it might have been the best garbage truck or like the foreman at the garbage company. I don't know. If those things kind of wouldn't have happened how they happened, then I might be different. It just kind of, for me, it kind of luckily got pieced together.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, my grandpa always dropped a lot of good knowledge on me, but it kind of luckily got pieced together. And my aunt had a great work ethic. And my dad always worked too.
I think you did something and it worked, so you did more of it.
So,
and that worked, so you did more of it.
And I remember those things, and I remember it didn't work. And I don't have it written down on paper, but that little is what we're trying to get, that I guess that click or whatever, instilled in our guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when they walk out of here, say something happens and they can't ever play a sport again. That adversity that we've been facing and embracing and doing the best, like empowering ourselves through it, that doesn't stall their life and allow them to put limitations on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where I went through a period of limiting myself to just certain things. Like, I ain't gonna say it's because I didn't know. I know machinists get top pay of $34. I'm gonna go work over there, be a machinist.
Yeah.
I'll make 4 years of college underneath my belt, and I went make $10 an hour starting out as a machinist. No, not 1 second did I like, oh, I can't, I'm better than that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you said top pay for your best machinist over here is $38 for it? Okay. That's what I need to get to.
Yeah.
I just don't want our guys to just have that when we can help them with more. You know what I'm saying? At a younger age. Because if I might have freaking been able to, took some tough classes my last little bit of college and made A's. Maybe I could have done that since 9th grade. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
maybe baseball and tops.
Right.
Could have paid for my schooling.
So
you get me excited, bro. I get obsessed as hell with this development stuff.
Let's get you mad.
Because to be honest, I've never put it down on paper or truly. I'll talk about development and people know what I'm about, but like there's no this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Because each kid is coached differently in their own kid. There's certain ones that have certain traits and you're trying to polish up the other one. There's no blueprint to this. Whereas a lot of other stuff, there's a blueprint I say a blueprint. I know the Express Chem stuff that we're running over here. That's business world.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. Like, we got to make money and lower stuff that's costing us.
Mm-hmm.
Be more efficient. I get all that. That's all easy stuff. There's a blueprint to that. It's pretty simple. When you're talking about developing kids and allowing them to reach their full potential, whatever that may be, it's different. There's no there was no blueprint to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I still, Shane, I still have, our coaches here know we're about development, but it's what I was just saying and kind of going on about. I don't think that they see both sides of it like that. They were raised in different situations than I was, and maybe some of them do. But they know 100% that development is first.
Mm-hmm.
That tool development and that work ethic and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe one day I'll start writing and I'll be able to write a book about it.
You start writing. So I was gonna ask you. what you wanted, and I was gonna ask you what your what your mission is. And I think
For which
I think we're hitting pretty hard on, I guess I know what you want. You want to develop
my mission has been accomplished.
This youth that we have. You want to develop them using a sport of baseball to teach them more than baseball. That sounds pretty correct.
I believe our guys, look, I want them, of course, they're not going to be men when they walk into high school, but I want them trending towards that, because I was taught in high school last year, and I realized that, no offense to these high schools, nobody take this personal, but they're not trying to graduate men. They're just trying to get somebody a piece of paper to get them out of that school.
Yeah.
We have to graduate men, because you go into the real world, you graduate, and like you go into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna stay at home, live with mom. Well, what if mom has an opportunity that you're gonna have to find a place to stay because work is transferring me here.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. You either come to college over here. You want to stay because your friends. You want to stay because your friends are here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is what you got to do. You got to go to college and you got to work and you got to pay for your place. What if that happens? What if unfortunate circumstances come up and there's nobody that's there to be able to be there for them?
Mm-hmm.
You need to graduate men,
and I think you need to be around men to be able to do that, right? To be able to make that happen. And so, I don't know. What's you've had a lot of, how many kids you had come through here, you think, in the last couple of years? Do you keep track of that? You get some you get some return athletes, right?
So for the most part, the core groups, year after year, the core groups are. I was thinking, we got a lot of, like the last few years, a lot of my time was at Central, and so I've only got to see like the last two 13 and 14U groups or whatever. 12-man rosters, that we want that to be the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're gonna get, every age group is gonna have either 11 to in between 11 and 13 guys on that team. Okay. There's 9U, 10U, 11U, 12U, 13U, 14U. There's 6. We have 6 age groups, 1 team each age group. So what is that? 72?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 72 kids. And you basically, depending on what grade some of them in, they'll, I ain't gonna say graduate, but it's kind of like when 14U, if they're in 8th grade, they'll graduate. Now, some of them go to school with 8th grade ball. They still play with us. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When they get to 9th grade, they can't, according to LHS, they play on another roster while they're on a high school roster.
Gotcha. Didn't know that.
We're specific on development, so we promote our guys to still, because the rules say that you can't practice with another team during that school. Like if you're playing football, you can play baseball on a team outside of school. Mm-hmm. If you're playing baseball, you can play football on a team, whatever. Now, your coach couldn't have his feelings about it, whatever, but there's no LHSA rules that stop that. What you can't do is be playing high school baseball and team practicing and playing outside of that. Now, I let my people know, you can come here in your high school uniform, straight from high school baseball. I would highly recommend you not miss the development that we're doing, because we're a developmental baseball academy. Your son, when teams get like that, I'm not having your son come from high school to get extra work in, and we're going over bunt coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll kind of do more what we do in the fall when the guys get to that 14U age and they kind of caught in between, to promote them to keep outworking and doing more and doing more and doing more, and maintaining like arm care and stuff, making sure that they're not overusing it. And I say overuse. It'd be like if they pitched at school that day or whatever, and then came here, and we're doing a lot of throw-in scenarios. We need to communicate that stuff, and we're 100% willing to. But people like shy away, and then they stop their kids' development because the coach said you can't practice with, or that's just a rule, say you can't practice. But we're development, so there's no one in this world that's going to tell me I cannot bring my kid to get a lesson to get better and separate himself or herself. to go and practice.
What's the fear? Why is there like competition between that? Why wouldn't they want that development and then to carry that over to the high school?
Well, there's different driven factors behind it. Some of it is, I'm sure some of it came from a good place, not wanting the guy to I guess, let's see, not wanting maybe injuries to occur from not paying attention to, like, you know, you do on another team practice and they think you just good. That coach is gonna be, you're gonna do what we're doing today, no matter what you did. You know, instead of a developmental place like us where, hey, look, we got 4 guys that play on the high school team. They did this. We got a practice plan, but look, some of it's the coaches are reading that ruling and just interpreting. If you're practicing with a team, they're practicing to go win a game. When in all actuality, when our guys are like at 14, when they are tied up with that 9th grade or whatever, we're not playing as much during that time. So that way, when those guys come back, we get them in the summer or we'll play early. It's about like the development side. Some coaches just interpret it and aren't willing to reach out or
lack of communication.
Yeah, and look, parents have for the most, some of them don't, but for the most part, they don't want to get in their kids' way or put them in a bad spot, and they overlook that. Like, well, I'm going to bring my kid and get developed. They're not going to go talk to the coach. They'll me for us with my kid, my daughter Aubrey. We can't get in the way. You know why? I make her go talk to the coach. If she was a boy and at select and she was on that 14U team or a 13-year-old that's in high school already, that extra work is like gonna help separate her. Gonna help her chase a dream. Like, that's what you want. That's what you want to promote. And I do it smart, right? He'd be he because it's select. My kid would have to go talk to the coach. And like, listen, coach, I know rules say we can't practice or play with a team outside of our high school roster team or for others freshman, junior, whatever. However, I play for South Louisiana Select, and in all the practices whenever the high school season starts on our 14 team is strictly development. It's not practice. Like, I'm going to a place for 2 hours that I'm going to work on skill sets and development, not make the team better at first and thirds at that point. Now the 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, whatever, in the spring comes around, we still maintain a percentage of the development stuff. Whenever the spring starts, though, we also maintain a percentage of like game strategies and stuff. The fall is really no game strategy stuff. But I think some of it's communication, some of it's just say they interpret it the way they want. Some of it's just, I don't want to deal with yes or no and answering questions if these kids can go practice here and there. I make it clear. If you're going somewhere for development, like when I was at Central, don't miss that opportunity to get better. Remember, at the end of the day, there's how many guys on a high school team, and each person, not all of them want to have the same goals in mind or raise the same or went to the same baseball program, but I know it's important for me and our program and our kid, and I know it's paying off, and it's paid off for years. I wanted to promote that at Central. You're a 13-year-old and you got here early, keep going to those practices, bro. It's just development. And if LHSA would have ever said anything, because that only happens up until like 9th graders. 10th grader, they're too old to play travel, but they'll seek development outside, like come hit here, lessons, things like that. They just won't do the development stuff with a team per se. They'll do it inside of like a program, we'll do a throwing program with just the older guys. Makes sense. I can't see myself. I wasn't gonna allow the LHSA to say they can't practice or play on a team outside of whatever, and me not interpret that as that's okay. I know what baseball practice is for the most part for 95% of people. I know what baseball development is. I know if my kid had a B in math and is struggling and she wants that A, we'll get math tutoring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, and look, there's a lot going on as a high school coach, bro. There's a lot going on. So I don't know, but whoever does listen to this, make sure you continue your kid's development outside of just what he does when he gets to high school, because there are, when they get those young teams, 9th grade team, if you have a freshman team, maybe 16, 18 guys on that freshman team.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, maybe the coach saw a little something. Some of them the coach ain't sure about. Some of them the coach is giving a chance to. Some coaches are keeping them to fundraise. Whatever it is, they're on that team. Your reps, your field time, because varsity and JV come first, and all that stuff is I ain't gonna say they're put on the back burner, but why wouldn't you do more if you had an opportunity to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, your kid don't have a job to go to. Now, you can always do it on your own and this and that, but for the most part, man, kids...
It's hard to coach your own kid. Yeah, anything. It's hard.
Well,
I can't do it.
You can't do it, bro?
So we're in the jiu-jitsu and both the girls are, and they love it. But I just watch them, how they react differently. I try to do the same thing that, Scotty would do in class and that sort of setup. And they're just not in the right mindset. It's like being at home. A lot of times they're just not ready. They don't have the same feeling. And, the second they get with the class, sometimes they can flip a switch and they're into it and they're engaged, they're answering questions, and get home and they pretend they don't know nothing. And that,
well, I know
we play with that a lot.
For girls, they're emotionally, it's emotions that at that age gets them, because like that's my dad. Like, I remember whenever they asked me to coach soccer, I didn't want to coach my daughter. I just wanted to be the guy doing all the extra, making sure I instilled that in her, that we do extra no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But I wind up doing it, and I wind up like making the regular practices too. So Aubrey wasn't allowed to call me dad.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first times something like she came to run and grab my leg to give me a hug, and look, I wanted to grab her and hug her, but like I had, maybe I did it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it had adverse. I don't know, but I know that when that happened, I stopped her and said, "Remember, I'm coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coach right now. You're not call me Coach Lance, but you call me coach.
Mm-hmm.
When we walking up to this practice, I'm daddy. When we walking away from this practice, I'm daddy.
Yeah.
When we doing the extra work, I'm daddy. We have set morals and values and rules that we have to abide by in our household, because you will be a productive." And I don't know if that, like, I guess she was smart enough to kind of comprehend that, and maybe I explained it good to her, but like from that point on, she never came to me as dad on the soccer field.
Mm-hmm.
It was always coach. And
it gave her a little more independence, I'm sure.
And that happened at a young age. It wasn't like that was 4 or 5, whatever. That wasn't, now that like she's 12, me trying to coach her. Cause I don't know shit about dance. I just know she got to work hard.
Yeah.
But
just got to go again. That's
yeah.
how you get better. Go again.
But it helped. And I think I could have maintained coaching her, so on and so forth, because when my wife signed her up for softball against my will, because I said I didn't play baseball until I was 10. I didn't want her to.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't think that the development in youth baseball is as productive to athleticism and your development with T-ball, which is bubblegum blowing, circle spinning little kids. That
No, I get it.
And then coach pitch it's hella exciting and crazy, and then you get that, from that you get into 9U kid pitch, and kids can steal bases and they have to pitch themselves. It just,
it'd be better to do a gymnastics or a
Soccer,
running.
gymnastics. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like my thing is with soccer, the beginning foundation is the thing that holds you up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all those people that skip leg day. So that was my mindset. Of course, it's still a work ethic and things like that. But soccer, in my mind, is the 100% the best, one of the best. I need to ask you about this because I plan on putting Blakely in soccer, but I called the other day a Cyclone Jiu-Jitsu, and listen, I'm hardcore UFC fan, MMA, everything about it. Love it. My YouTube is filled with. I don't want to start her in jiu-jitsu. I want that to be a secondary thing. I want that to be second. I want Muay Thai or American kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that thought process?
So
This is for Blakely, my 4-year-old.
Yeah, so I don't have any. I guess I'd be in the same boat as you, as soccer or gymnastics, or if she's, for a kid that's got siblings and they got cousins and they're roughhousing and they're always playing and whatever, they're outside and they're climbing trees and stuff. I would say you probably don't need any of that, right? It's not as important than this other kid that might have maybe a different parent structure at home, maybe a different lifestyle, shown to them. I think it totally depends on the kid, but for a kid that's athletic and is getting the movement in and stuff like that, it really, really, really depends on where you are.
Which one of those, like, say, put Muay Thai and American kickboxing together and jiu-jitsu or wrestling together, which one of those at that age is easier to structure and discipline? That was my question to the guy. I said, look, I don't mind what the fee is. But
I don't have any experience like training under, at a structured kickboxing or a Muay Thai gym. I've done that stuff. But I don't understand the structure of it. I do understand the structure of jiu-jitsu for adults and kids. And I really think so much it depends on the instructor and his this stuff. Because like you said, if it's a business, you're gonna get what you expect to get. If he's there for other reasons, and if he's there as if he's a martial artist, he's there for martial arts, he's there for kids development, you're going to get something totally different, and it's going to look different to an outsider. It's going to look different to a parent. It really depends on the individual. Yeah, I guess I couldn't say that enough. It would be knowing that guy, be knowing who he is and making you assumptions on, is this a business? Is this a...
I had a good conversation with him on the phone, and I had specific questions I wanted to ask him because, like I said, I don't like wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy the pads that you punch and kick or whatever, and if I can't find good YouTube coaches, at it, that make them, I'm not the guy that just sees one video and goes and don't question it, like, or see if there's being that, like, I understand with the hitting part of it, of baseball, hitting is a reaction. All right. If you're going to do some mixed martial arts stuff, like, a lot of that stuff's going to be reaction. Now, I'm not saying I'm grooming my youngest to be a UFC fighter. However, if I put her in that stuff, which I think would be good for her because she does like to put her hands on people, it can bring the structure and the discipline and put it all together for her. Yeah. Whereas dance is doing that for the other one. Real quick, I said dance. I picked up my 4-year-old from dance the other day. I made her go apologize to the dance teacher because it was open window day, and I didn't think she was listening good enough. I wasn't gonna sit there and fuss at her or whatever. When she walked out the door, all happy with her snack that they give everybody no matter what.
Give me that snack.
After I know that the first dance class they had, they were in a circle, and she was doing somersaults across the circle.
Uh-huh.
And the teacher's yelling at her, not yelling at her, like telling her to stop. And then the second one, she was running around a circle. I don't know. I saw what she was doing, and I don't care what it is. I don't care. Like, I'm not getting on her because she wasn't good at dance.
Mm-hmm.
Making her go apologize to teacher because she was here for an hour, and I saw the last 5 minutes, which is going to be the worst because of the attention span. And she wasn't like, keep it like, she was either ahead of it or behind it, never in line, like kind of here and there. Like,
right.
I need her to to start processing that, like that becomes a form of disrespect when you get a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the martial arts stuff, I felt like that's a good avenue for her, because we're gonna do soccer stuff, but that can teach her that discipline and that structure. Now, a couple of my questions I had for him was, okay, when we sign up, is it team oriented? Because I don't want to sign her up for something that could hurt the team if she's not there.
Gotcha.
As far as I don't know what they're gonna do. I have no idea what they would start a ground foundation. He explained that they basically get the kids to do and learn the moves by getting them to do other stuff. They're thinking they're doing other stuff, but they're learning that
to create games.
Yeah. So kind of like what we had talked about a little bit earlier. You're doing this and putting them in that situation to get this out of it,
mm-hmm.
instead of just verbalizing it. Well, I asked him that because I didn't want to sign up, and if I miss, because he told me it's like whatever the price was, and they can come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from it's like 5:30 or whatever. It's like an hour, 5:30, 6:30, or 5:30, 7,
mm-hmm.
whatever it was. If it's like, if she misses this day, but she was supposed to, I only seen all the older jiu-jitsu stuff. I have no idea about the foundation, like older guys. Yeah, if you got 10 guys that come to a class and you wind up with a guy not able, that's a no-show.
Mm-hmm.
One guy doesn't have a guy to roll with.
Right.
Okay, so that's my thought.
Gotcha.
And he explained it. He's like, no, it's not like that. And then I got through everything I needed to get through with him. He offered me to go in and watch the class and whatnot, and I do plan on, and I plan on bringing her, and we'll sit through a whole hour of it,
mm-hmm.
And then go from there. But look, am I signing her up to get like is this like kiddie stuff, or do y'all actually have structure and discipline throughout this? And he said we do. It's not as advanced as and no, everybody's got to have a starting point. But like, what I don't want is I want something that's gonna, martial arts is an arts, and big part of that martial arts part is respect and work ethic and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. I'm not a martial artist.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Will she get those things out of it?
Yeah. So, and every instructor is different. You're gonna have tournament schools, tournament academies that everything's based on. Well, we're preparing for you to go do a tournament, so we pay attention to points, and we show you this in a way that is going to be beneficial in a tournament. Other schools might not care at all about that, because they might understand, well, that works, but with those constraints, with time limits and these rules, that's when that is best. But for a 5-year-old, that might not be the best, So, and then some will have those things you're looking for actually built into the curriculum, where it's written somewhere, and they're going to be tested on answering questions based around this type of stuff. And other guys are just going to, they'll sprinkle it in when it's the time fits, So yeah, I'd say the more information that guy has for you, whether it's on the website or, we have at our school, he has basically a members login. So you go log in, and there's every level that your kid can be. There's there's a video of him and his son going over what's important for that person to learn next. And it's basically presented in a way for you to go home and do it with your kid. Here, if you want to work on it at home, here's what you do. And it's everything. It's the grappling, it's the wrestling, it's takedown, judo style takedown, it's striking, kicking, it's everything. It's a jiu-jitsu school, but the instructor, Scotty, he fought MMA, he's done it all, but it's not set up as here's jiu-jitsu, Monday is jiu-jitsu night, or Monday you go to with this instructor and it's jiu-jitsu, Tuesday you do striking. It's more all encompassing, to well-round a kid that doesn't give a shit about a tournament or anything else. They don't want to go to Worlds. They're in this as a development for other things, as the priority. That's what is, that's the way we do things. And, I think it's the right way.
Any reason y'all don't, y'all do some tournaments or not?
Yeah. It's just not pushed. If
I wanted to sign up, like if the adult or whatever, if they wanted to be in a jiu-jitsu tournament,
absolutely,
they can go sign up on their own.
Yes.
So they could go to y'all place and still get the best of it. You just wouldn't have coach there at the tournament because the team ain't going.
Well, typically, if anyone were to sign up, whoever could go would go. That's typically how it works. If I have one of my adults that that I train with, if he's going to compete, if I can make it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go watch.
As a parent with my mindset, here's how I would approach this. And I hope this is good advice for the people that are listening, because I know I'm different, but it's worked and it's helped so many. And this is good information for parents, because parents really don't understand unless they're coached up on how to approach this. If my daughter was at a school like yours, all right, and did jiu-jitsu there and did the extra work, and we felt not good about winning a competition, I don't care. I don't care if you feel good or bad about that. Like, those are things you got to learn to control. But I'm saying, like, she's been working really hard. She says, "Daddy, I want to compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament." All right. Have you done the extra work? She checked all the boxes. Then yeah, I'll start putting you in the jiu-jitsu tournaments. She would go let coach know there. I would then get her to, after that conversation, I would then get her to go back to the coach when he could spare a minute and ask, how much would it cost and are you available for this? Is this something y'all offer? If my dad videos my matches and I come in here early next week, and instead of a lesson where we're going to roll and do technique, can we review this stuff? Can you sit here, just watch these matches with me? Because I felt like I did good. I felt like I could do better. I felt like I didn't do good, whatever. Because I know in baseball we do lessons, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a Monday lesson, if I had a baseball player, I'll be like, hey, look, this is all his swings over. This is the game he pitched, whatever it is. On that side of things, that's how I would approach it. Now they may be like, never heard of that. We don't offer that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but then I'll learn.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, I would have to have a conversation, and an easy one. My daughter done set the foundation because I made her take responsibility herself on this and communicate effectively between her coach, who's her coach, and me, which also sets up the foundation for that kid whenever they don't do good and coaches on their ass, rightfully so, for her to come back and like, your coach got on me today. Oh, good. Well, did you get better from it? Yeah, he got on me for this. Oh, this is what I was doing and this is what I should have been doing. So yeah, he got me right. Instead of the coaches don't like me, or not setting them up to effectively communicate between the two, and then later on, whenever they get older, handling
learn how
stuff,
to be an adult.
right?
At
so
4 years old.
I send Aubrey to do that. Now with my 4-year-old, of course, I wouldn't be asking about watching videos for just trying to be like, yeah. This girl, we having trouble spelling jiu-jitsu, coach. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
She went to grab the girl and she fell down. No, but like it's in martial arts world and in jiu-jitsu, and for the parents out there that are listening to this, set your kids up to handle their stuff and effectively communicate it back to you. And then at a certain point through that conversation, like where I just said I was at that point where I would go have a conversation with, we would go and I would go, what's the best way for me to go about this forward? Because like if my daughter's doing something, I'm all in. And I would rather skip meals to be able to pay to do that, or not buy any drink at the gas station, or I would rather cut back on us to be able to invest in her development and her future, because that's going to pay off long run.
Yeah, what you would want is, if that's what the kid wants and that's what you want, someone asks the coach or pitches the idea and says, hey, I've heard about they got some jiu-jitsu tournaments. I'd like to do one. And maybe he would say, all right, I think it's time. I really don't think you need to prepare for it. If you find one you like, go ahead.
Of course, I'd want it, like you'd want the blessing of the coach to be like,
you'd say,
you're prepared for it, go do it.
He might say, yeah, go, look around online. If you find one, just tell me the dates. Or he might say, all right, awesome. Listen, I'm going to find you one. I'm going to find one that I think is going to be a safe one because of the rule sets. I'm going to find a safe one with a, respectable referee staff and put together by an organization that I trust, or an organization that I want to support. Maybe I don't want to support this other organization because I don't like the way they do things, So yeah, let me find one. Or he might say, listen, I know that might be a desire. I do have a better idea for development. If you want
let's hear that right now. And then
he would give it. So, but yeah, for a parent who might be a little too impatient, they don't talk to the coach. They don't have the kid talk to the coach. They just they just type in jiu-jitsu tournament Louisiana and they just sign up and they go, and the coach doesn't even know. And he would say, man, I wish I'd have knew about it. This could have been a better experience had I known about it.
That's the same thing for the kind of the culture that some of this travel ball has created, where they see playing and the Facebook post and all that stuff as what this is about, and they want to do that more than practice and prepare themselves. Mm-hmm. So like when the spring comes around for like our younger teams, our youngest teams, if they're a first year team, they don't play fall ball. They don't play a fall ball tournament. Their first weekend eligible to play is like the first weekend in March. And usually that's like the nicest weather for baseball, that first weekend. They start there. Remember, we do the development stuff in the fall. Then they'll learn more strategy, kind of baseball stuff in the spring. But it's hard to set a schedule because we're going to go see where we're at, how we respond, how things we got to work on. And over the course of, a certain time frame, win, lose, or draw in a tournament, we got to get these certain things accomplished. And with the younger group, of course, it takes a little bit longer, right? Mm-hmm. So from the first tournament, don't schedule the next 2 weekends off to make sure y'all get it in. Maybe it needs to be a scrimmage instead of a tournament. But some of these people just want to play. My kid's gonna play. We're gonna play. We're gonna play. Like your kid's involved in something, you should go all in. I get it, but where's the development if you're always just playing? You know what I'm saying? Your jump shot, if you just play, and you want to be a high level basketball player, if you just play, you never work your technical stuff you never work on your jump shot. Mm-hmm. How do you become more efficient? How do you get better? How do you level up? Yeah.
To get on a little more about, I guess just kids in general, youth in general, how do you feel right now about, we talked about maybe some some of the like the actual need for a little bit of aggression in a young boy, and maybe being able to use anger as a as a tool, or at least being able to maybe harness some anger or an aggression and use it towards their development. But what do you think about like toughness right now? How do these kids compare in toughness to, say, even 5 years ago? Is it different? Is it roughly the same?
Of course, it's different nowadays. They do peel back a lot of aggression in school. I didn't think when I was in school, 4th or 5th grade, got in a fight in the classroom. We had to walk to the principal's office. They made us shake hands, and they sent us back to class together. All right. Nowadays, it's so aggression so peeled back. I'm not saying fighting in school is a ticket, but like I think there's a certain part of the social media aspect that kids, a fight gets put on, they lose the fight. They don't know how to handle that because they've been safeguarded, I guess. Mm. These kids, failure isn't a bad thing for them. From 0 to 18, they work hard at something and fail, and they learn from it. Because when you start failing after 18, all right, that's whenever it's
expensive.
Yes, it's expensive. That's whenever you're big. But the red is a lot more prevalent than the green on the company books. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to let your kids fail. Don't step in and try to stop them from failing. Not in the classroom. They're at practice. They're at practice with that coach or that team that you allow them to play on. If you need to coach them during that, or tell them what to do during that, you didn't do your job before y'all got out of the car. You didn't do your job setting them up to be so. Now, if you have to step in because of a discipline deal where your kid won't keep his hands to himself and this and that, and you maybe coach is doing this and tied up, and that I get it. I get things like that, but I'm seeing people that are telling they have a kid and they're trying to tell him how to hold a bat while he's in the batter's box, or they're trying to hold at practice, like they're trying to tell him how, like, look, let him fit. If their kid is instructed by a coach to go do this drill over here, while he's right here and other coach right here doing the other drills to try and get more reps in, and your kid's doing it wrong, guess what? You can't say nothing. When the coach sees it, let him keep doing it wrong. Let that coach get in his shit. It's good for those guys. It's good for them. It's also good that if you do see that whenever y'all leave practice, it's always a good question to ask or leave the game. What you learn today? How you felt you did? Remember, my daughter came first dance recital, little Bumblebee Aubrey. She came off the stage and she asked me, "Daddy, did I do good?" I was a little rough at this point. I told her the truth. I said, "You just practice. I don't know what y'all practice at dancing, or how much y'all practice, but you just spent a year at dancing, and you had to look at the lady on side the curtain instead of doing the dance. Like, do you need more than a year to learn a dance? What do we need to do?" And my wife's like, "Stop, Lance, stop. Tell her she did good." I'm like, "No, I'm not telling her she did good. I'm not saying you did bad." I told her that. Hey, and then I asked her, not that I said that. I hate to answer your question with a question, but how do you feel you did? And that's whenever she said, I felt, she said something along like, "I should have did better, or I could have did better." Well, of course they're 4 and I get it, and you got to do it with a class. Like, I'm expecting more out of my kid, of course, and our kids at Select. I let her fail. I didn't harp on failure. Mm-hmm. I never, same thing in the classroom. I never asked her to make A's, or A's are not mandatory in my household. The A's are not like I'm not striving for her to make A's. What I'm striving for her for is the same things I preach to these guys. The rules are 100% effort, 100% focus, and you have to control how you respond. Otherwise, you can't move forward. That's what I asked for. And she makes sure, and she wants to be a doctor. And every kid's different. But I think the toughness, it ain't far under their skin. It ain't far away. They're still resilient kids and smart and more evolved on the technical side, I guess you could say.
Scary.
Scary.
Scary evolved, right?
I think it's underneath a thin layer of parents displacing blame instead of telling their kids to be accountable, and then putting a little more accountability on them for even things that may be outside their control. For parents protecting their kid from failure in an athletic environment or competitive environment. From parents asking, little Johnny, we were winning, and little Johnny got in the game, or we go in the last inning, and little Johnny made 2 errors, and they scored the winning run when he made the second error. He got on base because he made the first one. Okay, so we're gonna lie and not say that didn't happen. Now, did that lose the game? There's plenty of things throughout the game we could have did better. There's certain things you could have did better. Of course, you could have did better. Maybe we could have did better in that thing. Maybe I realized, look, this daddy looking at you from outside. You looked a little fatigued when you got out there in that last inning. We have to work to get in shape. We will run the levee by the house. That'll prepare you so that way there's no fatigue errors. Mm-hmm. Errors are going to happen in all aspects of life. In baseball, I try to explain to our guys, those errors are always going to happen because of a field condition where it's a bad hop or something like that. If we put ourselves in the best position and work our tails off, sometimes those hard hit balls are gonna get us still. Mm-hmm. We're gonna make it. We're gonna fail. All right. But how do you respond? How do you get better from that? If little Johnny makes 2 errors to end the game and he gets in the car and says, "I lost the game," all right. Hey, look, I get you feel bad, son. You wanted to win? Well, we would have won. I didn't ask that. Did you want to win? Yes, sir. Look, I wanted y'all to win too, and everybody on that team. And y'all, look, it happened. How do we get better from that? Mm-hmm. All right, because it always sucks for every parent to see their kid upset or distraught, but that's part of a growing, building thing. Mm-hmm. That's part of turn that into, let's do more work.
Yeah.
Let's do more, so you can decrease the percentages of those failures happening. But I don't think enough parents are simplistically honest with the situations. I think some of the culture, parenting, I think it's harder these days. In my personal, I don't have the experience with it, but I see buddies of mine that have a kid and them and the mother are not together or whatever. You're learning how to reparent after you've been parenting together for a little while. Mm-hmm. And then you meet someone and now you're learning how to kind of reparent with the structure and discipline of 2 different core groups, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And I think when that first happens, of course, it affects the kid, but I think parents get away from being honest because they want that kid to want to be with them when they're with them, and they don't want to whatever. And I think instead of going through that process of whatever, not being together and coming to terms like, hey, listen, we're going to be honest with our kid, not rough or strict or yell or loud or whatever, but we have to be honest with our kid. We have to, when we can't lie to our kid and said, oh, don't worry about that error. So-and-so made 3 errors in the second inning that gave up 4 runs.
Right.
It's not your fault. If we would have never been at that point. No, take that accountability. I just think that being honest with them makes them tough. And you don't have to be brutally honest. I think the first time when I told Aubrey about you spent a year in dancing and you had to look at the lady dancing behind the curtain to
Yeah.
She's 4. Lacey, my wife says, they all do that. That's not all my kids. That's not all my kids. I don't care what all those kids are doing. She's been dancing for a year. Our goal, when we talked about our goal from that point on, because all the grandparents were, oh, you did so good. No, she looked cute because the outfit looked cute. You didn't do good. She walked out there and watched a lady dance behind a curtain that she's been practicing for a year. And at that time too, I don't know what goes into dance. I think they just practice. They put the music on and practice that dance, and she should be able to remember. I'm also the guy that at that point, the goals was set for the next year was for her to remember the dances herself. And she did. We also put it in there if we need to do extra, we need to practice extra. That's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when your kid call me just being I hate to say that, call me being biased towards my kid, but I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna explain it. When you have a kid that has a lot of success, and you're still honest with them, it still helps. And that sometimes there may be situations where you have to present opportunities of failure to them, or put them in a position where something else may factor in on their production or whatever, and affect them, so that way they can get the challenges. Because Aubrey's had a lot of success in this dance stuff. So they went to nationals in Gatlinburg last year. We drove back, whatever, the 11-hour trip. This is my idea of me setting her up for failure to get better and learn from it and grow. She just danced every day for 8 days, but I don't know what it was. And she was in, I don't remember how many. This year she's in 8 competition dances, I think it is. Last year was 5. Whatever. I expect my kid to do more. I knew she was fatigued. And then just riding back with a car full of stuff, because my wife packs the whole house to go on vacation or go to dance. Dance all week, 10, 11-hour drive back. On the way back, I called, shout out to Allison Hall. She's the Nichols dance coach now. She was at Central Lafourche. We became friends when I was over there. I got with her about doing private instruction with Aubrey. So on the way back, and we had did something before. On the way back, I knew that the day after 6 days of comp dancing in a row competition, yada yada, going hard as competition, 11 hours of travel back. I knew that the day after that, I don't know if anybody would have been at their peak performance levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I set Aubrey up for a 3-hour. I set her up for a 2-a-day, where I called Coach Allison. We got her lined up to come to the dance studio in the Zalmans. We got that booked up. Shout out to Miss Nicole, Dance Unlimited Parody, Dance Unlimited Competition Company, whatever. That's where my daughter goes. She came in. I said, look, this is what I want. I want a 2-a-day. I want 3 hours from 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 9 to 12. I'll pay for y'all to go eat lunch. Where you want to go. I'll give you lunch money. You take her to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then when y'all come back, 2 more hours. In my mind, I put her in a position that had the odds, it's kind of stacked against her, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's okay. I think that makes her tough. Because she's tough. She's mentally tough. I think with her having the success that she's had in dance, I think her having me setting her up in that day, I didn't tell her I'm setting you up for failure. I looked at it more as like I'm setting it up as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she's going to have certain restrictions, just being sore, fatigue, and whatever. Well, it was rough for her. But Allison pushed her. They got better. And I don't care if they didn't get better at one dance move that day.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter got better that day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she had to push through situations where things this was what she pushed through. It wasn't as easy as it normally was for her to get and learn something. If normally the Allison will teach her something, 1, 2, 3 tries, she got it.
Mm-hmm.
Took longer because she's fatigued or whatever, jet lag because I was going 100 on the way back.
Yeah.
I think people protect their kids too much and don't allow just being protective of them. You don't see like the good in putting them in challenging spots.
Well, so I don't think it's just, I think it's more everyone. Like people don't do that to themselves, right? Like people that are comfortable don't go get uncomfortable. And that's what's so cool about jiu-jitsu as a thing for adults and kids is you can have a comfortable lifestyle, and you got this thing where you can go put yourself into extremely uncomfortable situations, repeatedly, and you learn quickly that you learn what to do to survive. Basically, you learn how to stay. That's job one, is to learn how to get comfortable in spots where you're uncomfortable, and there's nothing else like it to me, in a sense that everything is urgent. Like you cannot wait until you're ready. Nothing is about you anymore. Nothing is about how good you are anymore. It's about like all these variables against you, how good that person is, how big that kid is. I'm a girl, that's a boy, and he's 100 pounds heavier than me, and I'm on the bottom, and he's trying to put all his weight on me. Like, so what? Figure it out. I just taught you what to do. If you wasn't paying attention, maybe next time you'll pay more attention, because this is very uncomfortable and it's urgent because you can't breathe right now. Like, there's nothing else like that is time's ticking. Like, you have to do something. It doesn't matter if you're crying. It doesn't matter if you can't breathe. You have to move. Like, you got to move your body. You got to turn. You got to push. Whatever the thing is, it's extremely urgent. And I think that's why adults get, so hooked on it so quickly, is because it's a big slap in the face to anything you're used to or good at, or used to being good at stuff. You're not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what else you're good at. You're not going to be good at it. Or if you are, there's people set in place that are going to humble you. That's the way it's set up. Same thing with the kids. You get in a kid that he's on a travel baseball team, and he's super athletic, and he's got 5 big brothers that beat him up. And he comes into the class, and he's got some 8-year-old girls that can hold him on the ground, and he can't get up.
Yeah, making him tap.
It's a big slap in his face, right? And so what? You're gonna have to do it again. So it doesn't matter how annoyed you get, or how aggravated you get, or if you cry about it. If you're gonna stay, you have to figure out how to be okay with that girl crushing you into the ground, right? And as you get better, the coach, he's going to make sure you always have things that make it harder. So he's going to put you in handicapped situations to where you don't get to start 50-50,
It's not stacked in your favor.
Yeah, you
like
start when the guy's sitting on your chest. Now start. And once you can get out of that, now start when you're face down on the ground, So it's not like, what I would consider a team sport. Like, once you're the best on the team, you're the best on the team. Like, you're good. You're just good at everything. No matter what, no matter how good you are in this, either someone's better or the situation will be altered to where you're not good. And that's what makes you good. Like, that's when you get better, is when, no one could take you down, but start taking down already. Now you're going to get better.
When I was young, and I don't correlate jiu-jitsu with fighting. I paid attention to it so much now that, like, haven't done it yet, but that it's an art. It really is an art. And being mano a mano, being able to control and put someone in an unfavorable position, and now you have to get out, where in in the classrooms, nobody's failing. They still passing you. And when everybody gets a candy, even if you got a red light in the classroom, man, I didn't let, if my kid wasn't good at daycare, Mama Cheryl, don't give that kid no candy. I mean, both my girls really got candy, but look, in travel baseball, what hinders a lot of development and a lot of the mental toughness is there's certain programs, coaches, whatever you want. The ones out there that look at the tournament, oh man, that's a good team, eh? Not then, not we're not gonna play there. They're in that tournament. Instead of, that's the top team in the state?
Yeah.
Let's go bring them. Oh, that's the top team? If I'm a double A, that's the top teams in double A? Yeah, that's where we going. That's the top teams in triple A? That's where we're going. Because I don't know if the goal in jiu-jitsu is to get to be a black belt or you're doing it for love it, exile, whatever. But my goal for, if we start a year double A, we better look, somewhere in the middle of that year, our goal is to move from double A to get to triple A.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal is to get from triple A to majors. That's like the goal is to move up through development, not through, let me go recruit guys to come play for this team. Let me go steal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't, if they're never in an unfavorable position or uncomfortable position, like you said, like you can control in jiu-jitsu, if you're in a program that's not going out there and challenging the kids and putting them in unfavorable positions where, okay, we done did really good in these last 2 AA tournaments. Hey, there's a AAA tournament here with some good we'll go play against them. And I think select us too, because times have changed. I think we used to do that. All right, we used to do that a lot. I did it one time to a team that kept going. They'd play one game good, the next game would be horrific.
Mm-hmm.
If they beat a team, we're double A, it's 11 or 10. We beat a team on a Saturday, 17-1, because as soon as we got up, they fell apart. We got to play them on Sunday morning. They whoop us 17-1. I had that kind of go on 2 tournaments. I got them out of double. I put them in a AAA tournament against a undefeated AAA team that was about to get moved up to majors. And look, here's what happened. We played, there was Ascension race. We played them, I think the first 2 innings or the third 3 innings of tight baseball. Like we're playing the best team we've ever played against, and it's 3 innings of like 0-0, whatever, close ball game. We're in it, tied, whatever. And then 1 inning just fell apart. It couldn't happen any better. Here's the message. If we can play and compete for 3 innings against one of the best AAA team in the state, what's stopping us from playing and competing every pitch or every inning or every minute that we're in competition? What's stopping us? There's always going to be successes and failures in games, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not stopping us. What's stopping us is that we're not mentally tough enough to handle either or. We had success against that team yesterday in the AA tournament, beat them 17-1. They hit first in the first inning because we higher seed. They scored a couple runs. We let them hitting a home run in the first inning lead to a 2-run home run, lead to 6 runs because we start walking people and we're not understanding how to handle failure. It's pretty cool whenever you get to see the kids start to handle both failure and successes and take both of them and process them. It's pretty cool in jiu-jitsu, I'm sure, whenever.
What age is that?
Man, some groups take a little bit longer. For me, it just depends. So the way it works, like I coached the group that's like they're in high school right now. They're killing it. I coached them from 10s all the way up through. I'll tell you when they got it. They got it when 13U fall. 13U fall, they got it because they realized that we weren't just physically, we were still physically strong, but we had been majors since we were 10. and they were always like nobody missed practice. They always showed up. We always worked, but like playing a high level, like playing majors, the margins are a little different. So maybe that's probably not a good example. It because we still competed. I just kept trying to push and get through to them. We'd get through whatever. They turned 12 and like they're just gonna use their muscles just to hit instead of pairing that with technique and a mental approach. Some teams, man, I'll tell you, the teams that come in and they start at AA, when you can get them to handle, I call it staying eye level. I'm not going to no baseball game to ride a roller coaster. Like when things are going good, great for the other team, they're on this side of the roller coaster, and y'all are allowing that to put us on this side of the roller coaster. It don't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like things aren't ever always as good as they seem or as bad. Stay eye level. Enjoy the game and the adversity and the challenges that it faces, but this is not a roller coaster ride. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be way up here and then down, way down here, and then that's exhausting. It's tough to say. I mean, I can't even pinpoint like it because every team's different, and it's taken us a little bit longer as the years have kind of gone by, and I don't know if that's because we stopped like challenging them a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like I know we're AA, but we'll go challenge them against AAA this weekend. We'll go play two tournaments in the spring, and then either we moved up to AAA and earned it, or I'm putting us in AAA because we need to see what it is.
Yeah.
And da-da-da. And then you go do that, and then double, and then kind of eye opener. There's no blueprint, like I said, but mm-hmm. I'll tell you, seeing our guys that like on that majors team, that it was always pretty solid, man. We always were. We had a bunch of little brothers on the team, a bunch of dudes that they never missed practice, bro. If we had they were committed, bro. That was an awesome group, bro. Shout out to Spencer and Jacob, CW, and Braden Mouton, Chicken Little, Kevin LeConte, Thomas LeConte. They always were committed. They worked the tails off. They like to have a good time and joke. But we had competed in majors since we were young and didn't win the major state championship until 13. We kept pushing the technique and stuff to pair with the strength, and we had developed the tools to have the strength to play the game. And if technique did fail, they could still mm-hmm. compete but it got to a point where pairing it all together, that happened 13U fall. I'll put us in a fall league at LaSalle. Chad Catalano had set it up, and I was against fall leagues because I didn't want to play during the throwing program. But it was like a Sunday morning, double headers at LaSalle, same time basically. Mm-hmm. So I did it, and it still worked out. We still got our development in. They tried to out strength and out tool, like I guess power play them, because we had developed that power too. They tried to just like out power play them by like swinging as hard as they could instead of putting it all together. And at certain points before that, we had done it, but like I said, the margins are different. Mm-hmm. Look, if you got a situation that's favorable for you and your guy overswings through a pitch that he should piece up, like that's on us. Like we that doesn't happen in team baseball. Mm-hmm. But it just varies. The hardest thing is the parents being able to sit in the stands, and them handle success and stuff too. Mm-hmm. Like I don't allow sending out this week. We don't allow our parents. We do not engage with the umpires. We keep the oohs and ahs to a minimum. We don't blame the umpires. Our job, if we don't show up prepared to beat the other team and the umpires, we didn't show up ready to win. Mm-hmm. We got to get better. We don't let them. I said the message: if you feel the itch to coach your kid during the game, don't scratch it. I'll handle it. Just like
so, we went training in Georgia about a week ago. And we were at this gym in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and they have, you walk in, they got a little parent section with like some bleachers just overlooking the mats. And up on the wall right there in front of the parents, there's a big printed out poster. I was looking for a picture of it earlier. I wanted to read it to you, but it's along the lines of, you kid, whatever, you trust us, you kids here to learn. The only way we would encourage you giving your kids, tips and lessons from the sideline is if you yourself train. If that isn't the case, and you still feel the need, feel free to wear this gi. And they have basically a uniform hanging on the, you'd put a uniform hanging on the wall. Basically, like, if you want to coach, just put the gi on and come on, and we'll let you coach.
Yeah.
But you're gonna do what they're doing.
Yeah. Or here's my thing: a lot of the parents, everybody's busy. Maybe they don't have time. Whatever it is, a lot of them say just split it 50-50. I won't judge. Say 50% of them work with their kids extra on their own to try and re-implement what they were working on at practices and development and da-da-da. And then 50% of them don't. Okay. On either side of that, which one would it be better for to coach their kid in game? What you think?
The one that's working with the kid.
That's what my mind says too. But if you're working with the kid, you should. Exactly. So that's my point, right? So if you're working with the kid, wouldn't it be better for you to allow him to fail his way or him doing it wrong in the game, and then like go over that when you get in the car,
use it.
Go over like, hey, look, did you give 100% effort today? Yes, sir. Did you give 100% focus today? Yes, sir. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Because we work on the swing, and you owning your swing. And what was the pitcher's name on the other team again? You don't know? Okay, well, how come you let him control your swing? How come the swing you work on, you let him control it? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he did get me on some pitches, but I could have sat. I should have sat back a little more, or I should have owned my swing and only put my swing. Because look, if you don't know the kid's name on the mound, even if you do, and he's changing your swing, he's getting you out. All right,
he got you.
You got to own your swing. But if you're a parent that works on it with your kid, like, let them fail, and then just like ask them those little things. If you're a parent that don't work on it with the kid, simple. Still ask them if they did the requirements, the simple things.
Mm-hmm.
And don't offer how you felt they did. Ask them how they felt they did. You did?
Yeah, don't convince them.
Yeah, and look, if you have a kid on a team and you don't have to like the coach. The coach don't have to like your kid. Coaches like kids that work hard. All right. Coach Bodry said, somebody told me I was playing favorites. I told him, yeah, I play favorites. The guys that throw 90 and strike people out, and the guys that hit doubles. Those are my favorites. It was just a generic, but like, look, don't protect them, because toughness back in the day, and I said this earlier about the jiu-jitsu, I don't relate to fighting. Toughness back in the day, you used to think people that fought were tough, or that football made you tough. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I think getting them mentally tough makes you tough. Being invested and working extra makes you competitive and tough in the craft. Like, we spend all this time doing all this extra. Like, you're gonna give it everything you got when that competition starts.
Mm-hmm.
You've invested time, and this means something to you.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing extra and just showing up and doesn't help make anybody tougher. Because fighting, we're in a different day and age. But if you're expecting football to make your kid tough on the baseball field, then why you put a big football player in a box and he's jumping out the way to baseball? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The mental toughness would be, now take that football player, make sure he understands how to win a baseball game, and your coach in football had made him mentally tough and competitive and invested. and you make him try to win that game after he understands the rule set, then he'll probably wear that pitch.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know. I get so caught up in this because, like I said, there's no blueprint. It's not written down. Here's steps 1, 2, 3. Here's steps. If step 1 goes this way, you go this way. Like every kid's different, and
that's what's cool about it, though. You know, I don't think you'd enjoy it at all if there were a blueprint or it was a franchise and you coaching from a binder. You know what I mean?
Boring as hell.
I don't think you'd enjoy it. And so
we're blessed here, though. We really do have a lot. Like we rarely have parent stuff, like especially on my team. That ain't happening. But they may try some of the younger guys or whatever, or they be new to the program and they're not sure. I always try to explain to our coaches, look, the first thing is our job is to coach the parents too, so that way they don't stop their kid from reaching his potential and getting his way when he gets to high school. Because there's ways to ask questions to your teacher, instructor, coach, whatever. There's ways to approach it.
Yeah, I really like what you're saying about like having your daughter go have the conversation with the coach or the dance instructor or whoever it is. I like that a lot. 'Cause, you know, just thinking back to things I see, I think that'll play a huge benefit. I think a lot of people should listen to that and try it out, and it's gonna have a lot of give back, you know, throughout time.
Aubrey made all the competition dances for DU, and Miss Nicole got the dance. She bought the dance studio or took over the dance studio, whatever, 2 years ago. The first year she ran the competition, just like whatever. If you you can be part of the competition. This year you had to make it, yada yada. Aubrey makes it. She made everyone, but she was upset because she didn't make. She was trying to make the older group. But it would have put, I don't know how all that shit works, but it's basically she wanted to be with like the 15, I think it was 15, 16, the oldest group. She's 12. Miss Nicole explained why they kept her in that group for whatever reason. I don't know, something. I don't even care. Put her where you think. She's got jobs. She like her jobs to get better. Aubrey goes to one of the dance classes and that they required to take, and she comes home upset. And I'm like, "What's up? How's dance?" I got these girls. The students didn't listen to this and that. I think it's girls. Some of the girls that went, her age last year moved up, you know, and now she's one of the older ones in the group. But some of the younger kids came up, and they weren't doing. They're having to start back at stuff she already knows. So that bother her. And look, I don't like wasting time, like I said, right? So I said, so what's your issue, Aubrey? I already know all this stuff, and we're not learning fast enough in class, and all good concerns, baby, all good concerns. But why are you upset about this? I got her to tell me why. Good reasons. I get it. Now here's what we're gonna do. This is day 1. You're gonna do this. Here's the agreement: 4 weeks. After week 4, you're going to come home and report back to me. I don't want to hear anything about this from week 2, 3, and 4. After week 4, we're going to sit down and talk. Okay. And then you're going to go talk to Miss Nicole when we meet after week 4 and there's still an issue. I said, but let me tell you something. In the meantime, here's what you need to do. You need to be a leader. If you're one of the ones that already knows that stuff, you need to help. And find ways to help and elevate the team and elevate the program. And that's your challenge. You do that these next week 2, 3, and 4. We'll sit down and talk after. I'll hear you out. And then you're going to set up to go talk to your dance, the owner, dance, whatever. Week 4 came around. Guess the class has been good because that's been done came and went. And I ain't heard nothing. But I challenged her as here's something on top of this. I made that opportunity that probably didn't. You send her to dance to go to get better. That was an opportunity for her to get better in a different way. Because I want her to be able to communicate with people and help. if she can. I want her to be able to lead if she's worthy of being a leader. I want her to be able to lead the right way, by example and being accountable. I can't have my daughter, in that class acting pissy because other kids are falling behind. But I can't have her going, all right, everybody, 2-minute water break, and her talking to that little girl and going, hey, look, come see, let's work on that, whatever. Real quick. Let's just
developing a leader.
Yeah. There's different ways. I don't know, man. I think sometimes I'm crazy because there's only a small percentage that works like that. And maybe I've just gotten to this point because I've had the opportunity to develop so many young men. But the hardworking part, and if we're going to do something, we're going to do it right, that was always in me. My grandpa preached that.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from, man. We have a lot of employees that come in and out of the market, and you wouldn't believe this because you're not like this, but, there's a lot of people that have that's not my job mentality. They
trying to unionize bourgeois?
Well, I would, but I'm leaving in a minute. So, I know you were never like that. I was never like that, but you wouldn't believe there's people that are like that, and I don't know. Is it our job to change everyone that comes through like that and tell them that it doesn't have to be that way? And if it's not, things will get pretty good, if it's not like that. I don't know. I think it comes down to just influences, like I said, and what you see,
Look, hard work isn't for everybody either. So look, someone like that, yeah, you need to be a what's those people that get to sit at home in their drawers and answer the phone for Apple Care or whatever?
Yeah,
there you go, bro. Hey, look,
that's perfect.
That's the kind of job you need. You're your own boss. When that phone rings, you got to answer it, or you could forward it. You can get fired from that one too. But I believe, like, as Select, with it being this type of program, we are working to build the ones that, like, oh yeah, look, no problem. No, look, can I do it first thing tomorrow? I have to go get my kids.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. And the first they show up, clock in, get that done, roll on.
Yeah. That's what we can hope for. So I think I heard you say something earlier. You said that you felt like a need to pay back baseball. How'd you say that? You felt like
repay my debt to baseball.
You owed a debt to baseball.
I wanted to repay my debt to baseball.
But is that how you still feel about it? Because I feel like it's a little more than baseball. I feel like it's more or less about kind of like the next generation of kids, and I think you're using baseball just like I use martial arts, and I think there's places that you can go learn how to play, how to be a better baseball player, where you won't learn those things, and that's why that's the art side of this, what may happen in this building.
So it started out repaying my debt to baseball. I established those goals, every goal that I had set. Put enough players coming out of Select with some tenure in the program. We want those guys to walk into high school being able to compete for a spot on varsity. If that's a practice spot on varsity, if that's to compete on a spot on the varsity roster. Okay, we've done that. We wanted to send enough Select guys to high school to help them compete for and win a state championship. South Terrebonne, Vanderbilt, Edie White. Edie White only had, I think, 2 the year they won the state championship, but their state MVP or pitcher MVP was Brennan Gobert, Select guy. Years in Select, coached his older brother, and then we coached him for years. We've done that. That's been accomplished. Mm-hmm. The full potential thing, and like we've had kids from Select be class presidents. We have guys graduating on stage. We have, man, I could put a list together of all the awards they get and stuff like that, but like I'm not a big award guy. Once we win the trophy, I'm like, how we get better? Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Let's get more challenging. Anyways, to open up the door to a high level like tool development and technique and mental that'll help them not only in baseball but in life. And if their goal is to be a college or a pro baseball or whatever their goal is, like hard work is the foundation of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always going to be technical sides and intricate things that go along with that. And you pair those things together and always look for ways to get better. You can. Well, we've done that. Guys there's a foundation here that if you do these programs, you work, you trust in it, you have a foundation where if you keep working throughout your high school career, you have a good shot to go be a next level player. We've had, I think our numbers are at 70 something. We're closing in on 80 guys that have played in select have went on to play in college.
Jeez. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Not everybody panned out. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, things that we had guys that got on a college roster that we had a guy that didn't even make it freaking a week of school, I don't think. But we've also gotten we used to be away from our guys when they'll get to high school. Back to refocusing on the young guys. Mm-hmm. Whatever. The facility, y'all can use it whenever y'all want. Put in the work, da-da-da. They'll compete, do good, then they would start to fail, and then you get a call, hey, can we get lessons, this and that. We're trying to set it up now to not just the guys that stayed with us and done lessons, but guys that have come to like programs here throughout, like graduating select, I guess you could say, are still developing. Instead of they go to high school, we had a guy go to, I ain't gonna say the high school, threw 83 off the mound, 8th grade summer, gonna be going to 9th grade, beginning of summer trial for the high school team, throws 83 off the mound. We finish our summer, he plays with me the next summer. I don't see him or hear from him really. Get to coach him till the 12th game of his senior year. He got benched. I got with him. He called me. We started hitting. He earned the spot back. But that same guy graduated throwing 81 with no arm injuries. Like you go into high school throwing 83, keep working, keep doing the development stuff. Like you got all you got to do is get 2 miles an hour every year. And there's certain times they'll gain. Like say he got into high school at a little older of an age, like say he's a 15-year-old in high school, whatever, and you graduate like 18 or 19. There's that age where you get that man strength too.
Yeah.
So you gotta. Anyways, we're putting it together now with we can continue to develop those guys through our programs, and not just a lesson-based thing, more of like a group program with the weights and stuff and all that, because I'm tired of seeing guys, whatever they showcase when they're freshmen and sophomores, they're showcasing the same thing when they're juniors and seniors. That makes no dang on sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it
got comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable, whatever. You don't, because maybe the school you're at, the guy people want to point the finger. You're in control of you. I don't care how lazy your high school team is. You can put in work. All right. You can put in work and continue to get better. You got the blueprint on that. What was the other goals? The Elite 32, which, to quote Travis David, when Eli was 12 coming back for his 13U, I told him the Louisiana Tigers invited him to go play at the Elite World Series. They had made it that year at 12. I think we were like AAA. I told them they went. I kept tabs. How's he doing? Eli was doing good. Yada yada. I told Travis when they got back from the Elite World Series that we were gonna win the Elite World Series next year. Because I was crazy enough to like do whatever it took as far as we'll practice more. That year I did practice those guys Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 hours, which is way above what the contract states. Our contracts are like, let's see, we did over double. All right. But they also invested too. So I'm invested.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get obsessed with it. We won the Elite 32 the next year in Disney World. Aubrey was there. She ran on the field. Can't give me a hug. She was crying. That's awesome. I got great pictures of that. That was a goal. The major state championships, that was goals. We lost 1-3 to 2 14 major state championship. That was heartbreaking. We've now won some. Win a super knit, which is like a 25 to 30 team, best of the best from like the nearest 5 states or region. That qualifies you to go to Elite 30. We won the governor's game in Louisiana. We finished second in Houston to the Dallas Tigers. They beat us in the championship, and the Midwest Elite beat us with a 13-year-old throwing 87 miles an hour from 54 foot. So all my goals were accomplished.
That's ridiculous.
But I was getting out, kind of, you know, Kobe does a great job here. When I got the boot and I got to come back around a team and help assist coach it last year over here at Select, it just kind of fired me up again, bro. Because I enjoy the kids. Like, we want to get better. They're invested in development, and we got a lot of young brothers on that team now too. That's my 13U team now. Great parents, for the most part. And then we get with Brock, and now we doing that side of it, and now we got a plan in place, our goal in place to, like, it's been great and been producing for years in that model, and we're basically rebranding it, and there's nobody that's going to be able to, within the next 3 years, there's nobody that's going to be able to outclass us or outdevelop us. There'll always be things you can learn and get better at. The best way you can learn and get better is paying attention to who you're coaching, how you're coaching, how they're responding, since I felt like I've gotten to where I am as a coach, there's no kid out there that I can't coach or get through to. No matter what their walk of life is, no matter their story, if they're spoiled or not, I can get through to them to get all the stuff we talked about earlier wired into them. And I would get it all the time. Man, for select kids are just different, bro.
Ain't that funny?
It is.
Ain't it cool to hear, though?
It's I get chills thinking about it, but like it's cool to hear. And like, I also think about when I first started and we used to do summer workouts in that hot facility. They probably threw me in jail for pushing those kids so hard.
I think you're probably y'all are those teams that when you travel, it doesn't matter how good the other team is, even if they win. I bet they leave thinking, I don't want to play that team again. You know, that's the team I would want to be.
We get the well coached, like, man, respectful group. We get compliments on a lot of that stuff. We've had team rough years at times. We've had groups like that. They're like, for some reason, the whole team like wouldn't have a hair on their armpit of it. That, you know, they hadn't hit adolescence until 14. When you got a ton of them hitting it at 12. Most of them all hit it like at their 13. Like we've had teams like that. That's always like kind of like back against the wall type deal. And then you see them like they sprout up. Now they starting to mature, and it's levelizing the playing field. You know, the best thing that I see is when by the time they're 12, just the work ethic and things like that. That whole being able to use different things as motivation comes some, like, that'd be like the next phase of stuff. Before 12, it's like kids will get sad when they fail or something. Like there's not many kids that at 11 or 10 when they go, if a kid strikes them out with men on second and third and they had ducks on the pond in the second inning, like they're more like looking like they're about to cry.
Yeah.
Instead of like, that's not happening again.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
this is happening to them. That's how it's like, this is happening to us. we're not in control.
And
a 13, 14-year-olds, they've seen enough. They've seen enough unity in other sports everywhere else, and to get it,
getting those 9, like through that little 3-year span. I mean, really, like try your hardest, compete, get the hard work and all that stuff instilled in them. And we got some kids that are the warmest of hearted kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a ton of good kids. Nice young men. I don't know how to get that competitive. I mean, look, when I was young and we had Treva daycare and we bobbing for apples, I was trying to be the freaking best at it. I cheated. I didn't cheat. Let me rephrase this.
You still got the trophy.
When I was young, my half sister Nicole had a birthday party off of Walben Avenue, right there behind the ShopRite, in the Jubilee, right behind the shop. Okay, and they played pin the tail on the donkey. Right, they cover you. Put I don't know what they put on your face, but they had the little mask thing that had like the rubber band in the corner. The lady put it on my face crooked, so at the corner of my eye I could see. So I won pin the tail on a donkey, won the prize. Is that cheating? And was I supposed to tell her?
She messed up, man.
Cause I got away from saying if you ain't
cheating, you ain't cheating.
Yeah, I got away from saying that.
Can't say that around a 9-year-old. Is that why they call you Mule? They used to call you Mule.
Paw.
I bet you hadn't heard that name in a while.
Dude,
is he the only one?
Yeah, because he's my mule.
I can hear it.
Dude, let's go mule.
I can hear it, dude. That's awesome.
My grandma actually nicknamed me that because when I was born, she said I had a flat nose and looked like Mike Tyson. I was like 10 pounds, 6 ounces, and I looked like a big little Mike Tyson. And I said, well, why you call me Mule? And Mike Tyson, he had like cats and stuff at his home. And she's like, because he was as strong as a mule. So that's
I hope your athletes call you that now. So
Coach Mule?
Yeah, Coach Mule sounds pretty cool.
You know, when I introduce myself to kids, like last night we had the 9U in here. It's my first time being able around them. I got the other stuff going on in my team, but I made it a thing to be here when they came in and help and get a feel for them, be around them, see what's up. I always introduce myself as, look, some of y'all don't know me. Some of y'all may. My name's Coach Lance. First name Coach, last name Lance.
That's just stuck.
I just do that just to like, because you see the kids, you're like,
they calculate.
His name is Coach Lance. First name Coach, last name Lance.
Yeah. That's so good. All right. Why don't you, let's close it off. I want you to talk directly to your team, whatever, pick an age group or talk to all of them and say what you got to say to them for when they listen to this, what's important to hear.
Well, the first thing is like the same rules that I established with my daughter. We're going to have to put it on our shirts next year because for the longest time, and we still have it on our shirts, it says, one of our shirts says, we do jersey shirts because they order new ones every year, but the kids wear them like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of getting like jersey that you're going to wear for a game and then pick it up and like they wear jersey shirts, and when the next year comes around, if they want to cut the sleeves off whatever.
Yeah.
They love them. So
like a true button down.
No, the jersey shirt.
Yeah.
We wear jersey shirts like an A4 or like a Nike. It's an A4 shirt. Like a dry fit.
Yeah. Okay.
A good, like a thick A4 makes a good thick dry fit that we wear so that way when they dive in, whatever, and they're easy to wash. We get 3 different colors. One of them has hard work speaks for itself on the back. Coach Mathern taught me that. I was already willing to work hard. I wasn't always working smart, which we try to instill in our guys too, but I was working hard. So hard work speaks for itself. Another shirt says, practice perfect, hustle hard. All right. I put that, I just got that from Doyle Baseball Academy, talked about like trying to practice perfect because practice in controlled environment practice, you want to go through everything like perfect. You want to own your, when you're doing controlled drills and stuff, it's the perfect opportunity to do things perfect. Right. And then then it becomes automatic. Now that doesn't mean you want to fail. And we're not telling guys to expect perfection in the games, because we're teaching them how to handle adversity, and how are you going to handle that? But we practice making errors sometimes just to get used to them not catching the ball clean and still being able to throw it to first.
Yeah.
Because when you develop the tools, we can still get that guy out. Anyways,
Since
we, the hustle hard thing, pretty sure that came from my boy Ace Hood. You know that song, Hustle Hard or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So practice perfect, hustle hard. And I don't know how to put it on the shirt because it's too much, but the 100% effort, whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it, all right, if it's means something to you, if it's something that can help you and people around you, if it's something that can develop you, if it's wherever your feet are, all right, if your feet are there and you're in that moment, 100% effort, 100% focus, and learn how to control how you respond. Because if you can control how you respond, then you'll be better at controlling your reactions. If I can't control how I'm responding, the game the game itself is gonna beat you at times.
Mm-hmm.
Where if I'm up the bat and that umpire calls a 2-0 pitch off the plate a strike, and I'm mad about that and I can't get over it, and that guy comes back with another pitch that I should put the barrel on, and I overswing because I'm mad about that.
Yeah. So the pitch should strike you out, or the pitcher should strike you out, not the game. Like, don't let the game strike you out. It's that one ball coming. That's the only ball that should strike you out.
Don't strike yourself out.
Yeah.
Don't let the game. You play a game. There's gonna be adversity and stuff, and look, be excited to be the guy. Like want the ball in that moment. I say expect the ball every pitch.
Mm-hmm.
But from pitch one to the last inning, I don't want it to feel different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to be in your head, oh, this is a big situation and this and that.
Right.
Like, they're all opportunities to create opportunity, right? It's all opportunities to compete to win a game. If you made 6 plays at shortstop throughout the game, all right, and you got to be honest with yourself on this, the winning run or the tying runs on third in the last inning with 2 outs, and they hit you the ball, did it ever cross your mind not to miss it because there was the tying runs on third? Because if it did, we got to get that out of there. Because it's just 2 outs, ground ball to me, I'm going 1. Yeah. It's the same ground ball.
It's just a job.
You can't let that situation own you. You know what I'm saying? And you have to controlling how you respond allows you to play the game the right way, to play it at a high level and be successful, especially against teams that are loaded with the best kids from like 2 or 3 different states, and like compete with them, beat them, or fight them to the death until they beat us.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play a full game of baseball like that.
Yeah.
Every at bat is for the team. It's the team's at bat. You're just in that spot.
Right. If
you can't control how you respond, and the guy over there shaking the bell and saying that the batter can't hit done made you overswing and now you missed pitch 2, that hurts us as a group. So you wind up getting the team to play it and own the game, I guess you could say. Play the game, and I guess own how they respond. It's so much funner, but it's also it knocks the percentages in your favor to win, because if you control how you respond, it's always going to be easy to give the 100% effort and focus. Of course, fatigue and stuff plays a fact. But if you can't control how you respond and you're mad, then you're not giving 100% focus, because you weren't focused enough to put a good swing on the pitch. You will overswing at it. you're not playing to win. You're not setting yourself up for success.
Hmm.
And look, there's gonna be days, there's gonna be tournaments where your team's gonna go out there if they're playing at a nice and high level against other really competitive and high level teams. You're gonna go out there, do 99% of what we ask the right way, and that team just beat us that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with getting beat. I'm okay with. Do I love it? No. Does it bother me? Yes. Does it? It don't bother me as much as it used to, I guess. But am I happy that we lost? No. Do I start going, man, we did everything right. Where could we have gotten better? Yeah, I've been through that for years. So I've gotten to a point where, for the most part, we do 99, we do 100% of it right. They do 100% of it right. Sometimes that little flare just fell over our guys' heads. Sometimes the ball bounces their way. Sometimes some calls go in their favor. We'll never allow ourselves to be like the umpires cost us that. I don't let us say that. Mm-hmm. It's on us. But, man, I'll say this. Any guys that play at Select, on my team, any team at Select, listen to this. Pay attention to this. I'll repeat it. I said it earlier. And wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, 100% effort, 100% focus, and control how you respond. And that little foundation right there will allow you to control your body naturally and mentally, be able to control your reactions much better. That coupled with hard work, all right? And not just the couple hours of practice that you get at high school every day. You have to do more if you want more. If you want more, do more. You can be the one to stop yourself, but don't limit yourself. All right. If you want it more, go get it more. All right. So what if a guy next to you is naturally better? You can work for it. Baseball's a weird sport where, look, we've seen a lot of size in the major leagues now, but there ain't nobody stopping any small guy from throwing 100. No, anybody stopping any small guy from hitting the ball hard or play. Look at Jose Altuve. All right. So it's not a size limiting sport. If you got a goal, sell out for that goal. If it's college, if it's to win a high school state championship, if it's to be the best high school teammate, the best high school player you can be, whatever it is, you got to work for it. You got to work hard. You got to work smart. Both of those coupled together can lead you in the right direction. Don't get comfortable being comfortable. All right? Because winning is unnatural. Succeeding is unnatural. You have to work for it, and sometimes you got to get uncomfortable. So get comfortable being uncomfortable. Don't let it change you. Stay true to who you are. Other than that, man, I definitely love what I do with Select. Excited as hell with Express Kim and what I do on the business world now. Because like I said, I never ran Select as a business. I did it to repay my debt. I'm excited with where we're going. And I'm really excited to eat some of this bourgeois beef jerky. I appreciate the conversation, man. I thank you because I don't get to talk about development and stuff a whole lot. And it was good to catch up.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. This is up my alley. This is stuff I like to listen to. So, and it's stuff that should be talked about more. Is what, I think is what people should listen to is more or less stuff like this.
Yeah, some of the stuff I was trying to get out, but I've always been pretty good at what my brain's thinking is coming out my mouth.
Yeah, not me.
Some of the stuff that I was talking about has only always been in my brain and hasn't come out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
because I've never had nobody to sit down or somebody that's going to listen to it.
Yeah.
And try and get it out to where they can understand where I'm at with it and how it cycles through here. It's been stuck in there.
And sometimes you hear yourself say something and you're like, why am I so worried about that? And it makes it clear that you don't need to be. And then sometimes you'll say something and you realize like, all right, that's really what I need to be thinking about,
Yeah.
Well, but it's all good. It's never bad.
I appreciate you again.
Y'all are doing something right here, and I'm excited to see what comes with the new growth of the academy and all. And I
We're
do.
giving them every opportunity to
I
be as good as they want.
I'm not involved in baseball. I don't know much about baseball, but whenever I do see you guys post stuff on social and I see the success, I do feel a little pride in it. I had the connection with you, and so I do like it. And
Sock'em Bock'em partners.
yeah. Well, we've got a long history that goes way back to some very cool things.
That'll be another podcast.
Yeah. But yeah,
we gotta do this one day and cook, bro.
Yes.
Cook.
Yeah.
We can go. I'll come up with bring what I want to cook, and
I'll bring the meat. You smoke it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing the next. I'm gonna hold you to the next 3 years. Which I'm gonna hold you to what you said. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
It started out with me repaying my debt to baseball. I'm super passionate now. My passion is all about development. The workout, speed, agility, quickness side is not just a baseball side.
Yeah.
That's open to all athletes, whoever wants to get involved with it, and get involved on the home field advantage side. South Louisiana Select will always be only baseball. But the home field advantage and the workout side, development side on that, and it will be open to every athlete in every sport. Swimming, we got wrestlers coming, whatever.
Cool.
The recovery side, y'all stay tuned for that. We coming.
Very cool. All right, Lance.
All right, brother.
Coach Mule. All right, that's it for this episode of the Miracles in Meat podcast. We ask that you share it with at least one person in your life that you think needs to hear it. If you got a little something from it, you got some little goose pimples, or it just gave you some feel goods, send it to someone else. Let them feel that too. And if you loved it, please leave us a 5-star review. That'll really help out. And if you only loved it like 4 stars worth of, please do not leave a review. Same thing with the 1 through 3. Not interested in any of those, only 5 stars. If you have any personal questions or comments about the episode, shoot them over to Bourgeois Meat Market on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll reach back out. And if you have any ideas for any cool future guests, please shoot those over too. We're always interested in hearing who else is out there and what kind of cool stories we might be able to bring into this place. See you next time. Thanks for listening.